Welcome everyone to Omaha, Nebraska, home of the NCAA Men's College World Series, and we are at TD Ameritrade. All the red has moved from outside the ballpark inside the ballpark. They lined up hours early. An enthusiastic fan base, in fact, both. Tonight we begin the best of three. Who will win, Arkansas or Oregon State?
Moments. They come and go.
Arkansas with an emphatic victory over Florida.
They can define a legacy and last a lifetime.
LSU wins the College World Series on a home run by Morris.
To live in the moment means not to dwell on the past.
Ever since I last out last year, my focus has been to win a national championship.
It means to enjoy and savor every minute.
I'm blessed with the opportunity, and I'm just going to go out and just pitch and enjoy my last couple games as a whole.
To make every moment count, we must embrace it. It's a national championship on the line, and it's down to this.
Oregon State is rolling. That's the catch. Holy cow.
Who will define theirs? The College World Series Finals.
The long season has now entered the final stage in Game 1 of the best of three College World Series Finals. The NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One. We've been playing at TD Ameritrade since 2011. Arkansas will try to win their first College World Series title against a team that won a couple back in 2006 and 7. Oregon State is once again just a couple of victories away from bringing the championship back to the Pacific Northwest. Not going back to Florida, that's where it resided for a year, but the Gators, the #1 overall seed, were denied. So they've gone home with 6 others. The magical run-ins for Mississippi State, boy, were they super when it came to 8, 9-inning comebacks. Oregon State's offense, one of the best in the country, as is these kids from Arkansas. Dominated, in fact, by underclassmen. We look forward to seeing how this last chapter gets written. We came here with Mississippi State, Carolina, Washington, Florida, Texas Tech, and Texas. They've all gone home, so we are down to our final 2. And for the 8th consecutive year, there will be a new College World Series champion. Good evening. Laura Rutledge joins us shortly. We are really excited after last night's rain out to be knowing we're going to play a game. Eduardo Perez, Kyle Peterson. Let's focus on the teams now. Arkansas in this offense. They've only played 3 times in 2 weeks. Rust versus rest. It appears as if they like the rest.
They love the rest. And you talk about underclassmen earlier. Well, these underclassmen for Arkansas have been spectacular. Combined 16 hits amongst both Casey Martin and Dominic Fletcher. These guys have been an impact, not only on defense, but also in the base paths and at the plate. We're talking next level. We're talking underclassmen that we're going to see at the major league level soon. Why? Because they have all the abilities, and they're showing it here in Omaha during the College World Series. It's been spectacular to watch.
No doubt about it. Couple years until they find their way into minor and then Major League Baseball. Fletcher and Casey Martin's numbers 16 for 28. Meantime, it might be next season that we see some of these Oregon State players in the major leagues. They are loaded with prospects.
It's a big league lineup. And when you look at Oregon State, it's an offense that was one of the best in the entire country. And the reason is because of these 3 first-rounders right at the top. Nick Madrigal, heard his name called very early, the 4th overall pick to the Chicago White Sox. He's the all-everything second baseman. You see Trevor Larnach in right field, Caden Grenier, the shortstop. The best one long-term may not be any of them. It's Adley Rutschman, the sophomore catcher. Oregon State has shown throughout this tournament that they have as good an offense as you will see. 351 would be the best average that any team has ever had here at the College World Series since we started playing at TD Ameritrade. It's a club that can do absolutely everything, and they've showed it all the way through this run. For more on this Oregon State team, let's go down to the field. Here's Laura Rutledge.
Well, yeah, KP. Pat Casey, Oregon State's head coach, said, I'm not going to lie, this helps us immensely to have an extra day off due to the weather. Their bullpen had more rest. Their starter, Luke Heimlich, more rest. And also Stephen Kwan, their leadoff hitter with the left hamstring pull. He is more rested, ready to go back in the lineup today. As for Arkansas, their bullpen certainly a little bit more rest too, and that helps out. But one thing to keep in mind, if this were to go to 3 games of a series, Isaiah Campbell, who was excellent for them here, could start a game on Thursday. Both teams say that they've benefited from this extra day.
I know we did. We're certainly well rested. So let's tee it high, let it fly. Let's play for a national championship. First pitch, Arkansas, Oregon State at the College World Series comes up when we come back. Arkansas and Oregon State, 47-19, 18-12 in the SEC. Oregon State, just another one of those ho-hum 50-plus win seasons. They came here last year with 54 wins, and they could not get the job done. They also didn't have the guy that's going to be on the mound last season. This is Luke Heimlich, who is on the mound tonight, and he has had a tremendous record when it comes to what he's done on the field. Off the field, little different story. During the 2017 postseason, he excused himself from play following a report from the Oregonian newspaper identifying the pitcher as a registered sex offender. In 2012, at age 15, Heimlich admitted to sexually molesting a 6-year-old girl. Last month, Heimlich denied molesting the girl to New York Times and the Sports Illustrated reporters. This was his quote: "I pled guilty to it, but ever since that day, and even before that, I've denied ever committing the offense. I stand by it. I feel confident in who I am. I know the truth of the situation. And if I'm not focused on what other people say and what other people read, ultimately, I'm going to be all right," end quote. The victim or her family, neither have made any public statements since the Sports Illustrated article was published. So they didn't have him last year. He is on the mound tonight. One of the better lefties will deal with an offense that has hit both righties and lefties. That's Blaine Knight. He'll pitch for Arkansas. Take a look at their road here to Omaha. Their first CWS final appearance in a long time. Fletcher's been great, 8 for 14, 2 homers, 8 RBIs. Their starting pitching has been a strength 2-0, 3.60. The way this works, double elimination format. If you lose, you're playing 4 or 5 games. In Arkansas's case, they didn't lose. They've only played 3 times. Our Capital One batting order, we've already talked about Fletcher. He hits 5th in the lineup for Dave Van Horn. Everybody else around him can put it over the wall.
Yeah, and Heston Kjerstad this season has been fantastic. Ever since he got in that uniform in fall ball, he has not stopped hitting. Hasn't picked it up so far in the College World Series, but any time now, this kid can carry this ball club.
We've kind of gotten used to pitching duels, scores where teams win games with 2 or 3 runs. Have the feeling that's not going to be the case. The wind is blowing straight out to center field. Ideal conditions for all these fans that have waited now an extra day to cheer on their team. In a lot of ways, it's going to feel like a home game for Arkansas.
A lot of red here. Just a 6-hour drive north from Fayetteville, and there were plenty that made the drive. There was a joke the other day in the newspaper that said the last one out of town turned the lights off, and it feels like that's been the case. Plenty have made the trip up, and they are loud.
94 home runs this Arkansas lineup hit during the regular season. 167 of their 452 runs came via the long ball. Eric Cole will lead things off. He hit 14 home runs on the season. He's out of Southlake, Texas, a junior at 5'11", 195. The Royals, Kansas City, selected him in the 4th round of this past draft. The last 2 years, Heimlich's been eligible to be drafted, and he was passed over. First pitch of the World Series Finals. Strike 1, fastball, looked good at 93.
No secret, early on, 6 o'clock game, you see the shadows. They're going to be a factor in the first couple innings of this ball game.
Well, Heimlich is a guy that throws a lot of fastballs. It's 75 to 80% fastballs, can get up to 95 of that pitch. The secondary stuff primarily relies on a plus slider.
Into the glove, another one right at 93, and Eric Cole's behind 0-2. Travis Katzenmeyer, the home plate umpire, hasn't had to make a call yet. Perry Costello is at first. Chris Koski, the umpire, at second. Joe Burleson is at third. Veteran crew, they've had a great job, and we got additional umpires in the finals down the lines. Right field, Barry Chambers. Left field, Billy Van Raphorst. What are you looking for from Heimlich, given his 2 starts in Omaha have not been good at all?
Fastball control. Fastball control and the ability to throw strike 1, because when he does that, that's when he can expand the zone. The fastball gets a little bit better, and he starts to work corner to corner. But fastball control is something he did not have in his first 2 starts. Felt better in his second than he did his first. This is a kid that over the course of the season has 19 starts. 16 have been quality starts. Neither one of the starts here have been, and you see the difference in the numbers. A .96 whip entering the College World Series. It's been a very different story in his 2 short starts here.
As you'd expect, these two teams very good 2-strike hitters. 2-2, jam, and a foul ball. Although Arkansas has made a living here at the World Series attacking before they get 2 strikes as a team. .426 batting average. With 2 strikes, it drops to .222. They tend not to go very deep on counts. 31 hits of their 38 have occurred on 4 pitches or fewer. We're about to see the 6th pitch of the at-bat. How about Cole now? Works a full count, 3-2. Given Heimlich's lack of success at the College World Series, the first batter may be huge for the rest of the night. On the ground to third, that's Gretler. He throws to first, and there's one down. Michael Gretler, the 10th round pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates at third base. And now Casey Martin, the third baseman. He's only a freshman, and he acts like an upperclassman. 5'11", $179 out of Arkansas. And a .571 average at the College World Series. Wild swing and a slider in the dirt.
That's the first slider he's thrown in the game, and it was a good, effective one. Fletcher trying to attack early, knowing that predominantly he throws that fastball.
Stephen Kwan is back in center field. That's a big story for Oregon State. Really his first game starting here at the College World Series since he hurt his hamstrings. And they've struggled a little bit in the outfield without him. He is a difference maker. Indians liked him enough to take him in the 5th round. He'll hit leadoff for Oregon State. (0-2). Wild one in the dirt. He swings and misses, and Rutschman will throw down to first. Heimlich looks good early.
So first at bat, Derek Cole, 7 pitches, 7 fastballs. Eddie, that one 3 pitches, 3 sliders to get the strikeout.
Solid dosage of sliders down and in. Remember, Arkansas has not faced the lefty in more than 2 weeks, and they're facing a really good one at that.
Here comes Heston Kjerstad. Eddie talked about him at the top, the left fielder, the freshman out of Amarillo, Texas. One of those dudes that just feels like he was born to hit, and he has grown a great deal since he was recruited as a 150-pound high schooler. Inside corner, called strike one. Committed to Arkansas as a sophomore. He stood 5'10", 155. His dad, Dave, is 6'4", 250. They figured he'd probably grow a little bit. And he has. He's behind 0-2.
They've been giving him a solid dosage of fastballs to Kjerstad. He's been sitting back. Looks like he's been looking off speed, because in the SEC, they threw him a lot of off-speed pitches.
Yeah, over the course of the year, as Kjerstad's numbers stayed consistent, he did see more breaking balls. Now 3 pitches right here from Heimlich, 2 fastballs, a slider to finish, and a clean first for Luke Heimlich. Ground ball out to start, then a strikeout of Casey Martin, strikeout of Heston Kjerstad. Blaine Knight will head to the mound and face the Oregon State offense when we come back.
Back there's Pat Casey, 24th year at Oregon State. Lost the opener to North Carolina. You lose the opener, you're in real trouble. But they've won 4 straight elimination games, and they have pounded the baseball. 48 runs in those 5 games, led by the number 5 hitter tonight, Adley Rutschman, 10 RBIs. As we take a look at the Capital One batting order that he's throwing out there. We mentioned what Kwan can do in the outfield. How about what he can do at the top of this order?
He can, and he has a sore hamstring, and they're going to test it early on. But Stephen Kwan is a contact hitter. 16 strikeouts in the season. This guy will put it in play, and he'll cause a lot of havoc on the bases.
16 strikeouts is sort of burying the lead. There are 50 walks to go with those 16 strikeouts. He's been really good. So Blaine Knight, what will his approach be?
Yeah, this guy's been really good, too. Blaine Knight's 13-0 this year. The 13th win came against Texas in this College World Series. He's been a giant killer the whole year. He's beat some of the best arms in the country. Mize, Singer. Now he faces another low 90s fastball, slider anytime. And those are the two primary that you'll see from Knight. He's not going to throw as many fastballs as Luke Heimlich will, but fastball control has been elite for Knight all year as well.
So a real good start for Heimlich on the mound. It's the first time that Arkansas did not score in their first inning in their now 4 games here in Omaha at the World Series. Saquon stretches those hamstrings. The left hamstring really tightened up on him the other night. Hit a ball to the outfield and really didn't move out of the batter's box and slowly jogged towards first. He did a lot of convincing of Pat Casey that he was good to go. Another day of rest certainly helps him, and here comes the junior out of Fremont, California. Third baseman Casey Martin playing way in on the grass, anticipating perhaps a square to bunt and maybe a bunt to go with it. Knight's first pitch, pretty good velocity, 94 miles an hour, in there for a strike.
He can show you some of that. Knight's fastball velocity will be very similar to Heimlich's. I think the difference in the challenge that Blaine Knight has had this year is carrying that fastball velocity into the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning.
You guys were talking about Stephen Kwan and how he's getting that left hamstring healthy enough to play. A lot of ice, a lot of rest, a lot of work on that hamstring. But one thing that Arkansas brought up is, especially when he's out there in center field defensively, they may try to test him, maybe try to hit something over his head, and also try to see if they can test him when he's at the plate as well.
Knight has thrown 3 fastballs, 94, 95, 94. City of Omaha in the background. TD Ameritrade opened for action in 2011. It was announced earlier this week there'll be a Major League Baseball game here next season during College World Series week. The Royals and Tigers will be here. 0-2 inside 1-2. Just a terrific night to play baseball, and aerials from high above TD Ameritrade. And you can see it looks a lot like Baum Field, the home field for Arkansas. A lot of red. Kwan is gone as Blaine Knight picks up strikeout number 1.
He did it on fastballs. Make that 17 strikeouts now in the season for Stephen Kwan. This time pitches elevated up and away, a little run to it. Stephen Kwan, looks like hitters are not picking up the ball well. We talked about those shadows. Not only will it affect the hitters, but also the left fielders as you see the sun right in their eyes.
Caden Grenier steps into the box. Junior, 5'11", 188, Henderson, Nevada. 322 on the season, does have 5 home runs. Fastball at the knees on the corner, strike 1.
You're going to get that one. Stay right there.
Carson Shaddy, the second baseman, shaded towards the middle. A little bit of a hole between first and second base.
1-1.
Here's a good look at Blaine Knight illuminated on that mound by the sun. And then how dark it gets about 10 feet in front of him. He'll lose the baseball. Gone. In there for a strike, 1-2.
That's not a good feeling halfway through. That's when you pick up that spin. Can't pick up that spin, you're in a lot of trouble. Then you have 94 to 95 coming at you also, with the ability of throwing that fastball effectively in. Makes it tough on the hitters.
So, given what we just saw with that view, could you pick up the spin? Did you know that that was a breaking ball?
No.
No.
No, but the good thing is this. I mean, if I'm a hitter right now, I'm jumping in that box because I just ordered a cloud from a catalog and it just showed up right now.
Yep, right on time.
Let's go. Throw the ball. Get in that box.
Where is that catalog to order if you need a cloud? I haven't seen that. I mean, you can get anything you want now, but I know you can get a cloud.
Back page. Got to get all the way to the back page.
2-2. Stays alive with a foul ball.
Pre-ordered.
My stomach turns a little bit every time I see a cloud. I don't want to see any clouds.
We're good tonight. Yeah, we're fine.
It looked just like this last night around this time. Knight looking for his second strikeout after getting the leadoff hitter Quan. This one's popped up, and the second baseman Carson Shaddy goes out. He's called off by the right fielder Eric Cole, who comes in to make the play. We had LSU here last year against Florida in the CWS finals. There was a lot of purple and gold in the crowd, but I don't know that it was this predominant for one team. I mean, this is it feels like about 80-85% Arkansas fans here.
It really does. This is what they call, and I saw them at the elevator, a lot of the fans, Baum North from Baum Stadium. Beautiful facility in Fayetteville, and they made it their home here in Omaha for this week.
Nick Madrigal, the junior, 5'8", $165. He bats now, looks at that first pitch up. This guy's been a great hitter. He has flirted with 400 as a batting average all season long. Hitting 395 now on the year, 396 in this tournament. A terrific contact hitter, and when Quan was out, he was the leadoff hitter. And Pat Casey talked about how if we can get Quan back, it allows Madrigal, who really likes to swing it, back into that comfortable 3-hole. He rips one to short, fielded cleanly by Biggers. He throws him out. Madrigal hit it on the number, but he's retired. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. 4, 5, 6 coming up for the Razorbacks when we come back.
Luke Heimlich off to a good start for Oregon State on the mound with a 1-2-3 inning. We've talked about his other two starts here not being so good. And so Pat Casey, his coach, came to him and said, hey, you don't have to pitch if you don't feel comfortable. He said, I need to know that I can rely on you. So they had a conversation man-to-man about that. And Heimlich said, look, I'm ready to go. I want to be out there. I want to be pitching for my team and contributing to a national championship. So Pat Casey felt very confident in putting him out here in this spot today, guys.
Important, that conversation he had with him. He told us a couple of days ago that had to happen. They'll face 4, 5, 6. Luke Bonfield will lead things off, the cleanup hitter. Oh! There was an article in the local paper, and given that the Kansas City Royals AAA affiliate is here, the Royals' Dayton Moore was in town for that announcement of that major league game next season. But the Royals had expressed interest in perhaps pursuing Heimlich as a free agent signing. Wasn't drafted again. He picks up a strike at the bottom of the strike zone to even it up at 1-1.
As the last 2 years, he's been the best pitcher in college baseball. He was again this year, 16-2, 16-1 when he came into this College World Series. Last year, the ERA was significantly better than anybody else in the entire nation. The stuff is undeniable. 27-3 with a 181. He's been the Pac-12 pitcher of the year each of those 2 years. Look at the strikeouts to walks. 282 strikeouts, 48 walks for Heimlich over the past 2 seasons.
Rutschman wanted him appeal down to first. No swing, said Perry Costello, so it's even up at 2-2. Bonfield's the designated hitter out of Skillman, New Jersey. He's got some power, obviously, hitting in that cleanup spot. 9 home runs this season. The big powers really come from the guy who's on deck. That's Dominic Fletcher, the center fielder. And that's his home run swing. 3-2.
Look out, 3-2.
How about Oregon State? Look at Gretler at third base. He's off the line. Usually, third basemen with left-handed pitchers, they tend to be more on the line because those sliders, guys tend to pull it. A lot of doubles happen through there.
Bonfield right up the middle, exactly where Grenier was playing, and for the second time, a fielder cleanly throws the ground ball to first, one down. That brings up Fletcher, the center fielder. His brother, as you know, David, plays for the LA Angels. He's got 10 home runs this season. And I just show you the peaks and valleys. How about an 8-for-14 College World Series and a hitless Super Regional against South Carolina? So something happened on the airplane. Got him warm. Sophomore 5'9" out of Cypress, California. The breaking ball misses. And not that batting practice is an indicator. This dude was launching during batting practice.
Yeah, it was a light show today for Arkansas and BP. Wind was blowing out. Ballpark's playing the way that it really has much of the last few weeks. Now back-to-back sliders here. First time that Fletcher comes to the plate. The one that he'll really handle is the fastball middle away. Likes to get those arms extended a little bit early. He'll take that pitch and pull it to right. We've already seen him do it twice and put it in the seats in this series.
That's a good one.
One thing I was curious to see before this game started, and once it started, is they have 4 left-handed hitters in this lineup. We said it earlier. They have not faced a lefty in more than 2 weeks.
Last time they faced him was June 11th. 95. Ball jumping out of both Blaine Knight and Luke Heimlich's arms tonight.
There's some adrenaline going so far, and control for the most part has been very good. The one thing for Arkansas against lefties or against righties, the offensive numbers are almost identical. They hit .302 against lefties, .301 against righties.
Right here.
That's where he doesn't want it. He does not want that fastball that crowds him. You can see the reaction right there of Fletcher. Because those arms extend a little bit early. If he gets to the fastball in, he's usually going to hook it foul. Trying to pull those arms in at the last minute to get the barrel to it. But I'd like, if you're going to throw him the fastball, I like crowding him with the fastball.
Good one. Third strikeout of the night for Luke Heimlich.
Well, he sped him up inside, and as a hitter, once he speeds you up there, you think he's going to go away. Instead, throws a slider, freezes Fletcher. No chance to see the ball right there coming out of the sun into the shadows.
And now Carson Shaddy, the second baseman, the redshirt senior, right out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. He's wanted to play for the Razorbacks since he knew what a Razorback was. About 4 years old, he started dreaming about doing this someday. His dad played with Dave Van Horn back in the early 80s. Shaddy went, as his dad would describe it, under-recruited. Bumped into Carson playing in the state tournament. Didn't have any money to offer him, but said, we'd love to have you if you want to join us. So the walk-on is now a huge part of this Arkansas team.
And the underclassmen got him to this championship game. Carson Shaddy has not done much during this College World Series. He showed up in a big way during the Super Regionals. If they're going to win this game, he's going to have to be a big part of their offense.
There's some flash, too. I mean, he can leave the yard in a hurry.
Late on that, even at 92 miles an hour. Luke Heimlich's locked in right now. He's got 3 strikeouts already, which matches his previous 2 College World Series starts. Looking for more. 1-2 to Shaddy, and that one's going to find the seats.
Love the scouting reports on both teams. They've done their homework. We talked earlier when Luke Bonfield was up that Gretler was off the line. Now Gretler at third base. He's on the line. Carson Shaddy more of a pull hitter.
Very difficult sun for the left fielder, Kyle Novak. If once hit up in the air, he is staring right into it.
Eddie, that was that pitch you were talking about, that slider on the inner third, that if Shaddy gets to it and he hits it on the ground, he's probably going to pull it to Gretler at third base. That time just got the top half of it and fouled it off.
As a former pitcher, Kyle, can you feel what Heimlich is feeling when everything so far is working?
Yeah, and then a lot of times it means you're not thinking a whole lot. You take the baseball, you nod yes, and go to work.
Just body language, completely different pitcher than the first 2 games. After he releases the baseball, he's got a little jump to his step also. Oh, how do you ask for time? That's when the shadows are a non-factor.
All right, here we go, 2-2.
Heimlich doing a really good job of moving the ball up, down, in, out.
I think
and adding and subtracting.
Yeah, I think that was a change there. I mean, sometimes he'll throw that back over breaking ball that fights to get back over. That one looked like a changeup that Shaddy was out in front of. He doesn't throw a ton of those, and if you see a Heimlich changeup, it's usually going to be to a right-handed hitter.
3 strikeouts already. Nope, inside 3-2.
Look out, 3-2.
Pretty good location, but Shaddy wasn't offering. Jared Gates, the first baseman, waits on deck. Good at bat by Carson Shaddy, the first base runner for Arkansas.
The College World Series Finals, Oregon State versus Arkansas, Game 2, tomorrow at 7 on ESPN.
Hope you'll join us then. See who's got that 1-0 lead. Game 3, if there is to be a Game 3, will be seen at 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern Time on Thursday on ESPN2. So Game 3, if there is one, 6:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 local time, ESPN2.
I actually like that 3-2 pitch. It was a good call from Oregon State, but a better take from Carson Shaddy.
Jared Gates has already hit one over the wall here in Omaha. First pitch he sees, good one on the inside corner, swings right underneath it.
So far, both lefties that have faced, that have been out there against Heimlich, both have looked uncomfortable against his pitches, especially when he establishes in like that.
Gates, a .385 hitter here in Omaha, 5 for 13, a .252 regular season hitter. That one is ripped to right field and right into the glove of Trevor Larnach. First hard hit ball elevated, but it results in an out. We'll see Larnach and Adley Rutschman when we return to Omaha.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet? And in part by McDonald's new 100% fresh beef quarter pounder burgers. Cooked right when ordered.
Michael Conforto, the former Beaver, says good luck to my brothers tonight. You've got Beaver Nation behind you. Leave it all out there. Go Beavs. Conforto, one of the great Oregon State hitters of all time, currently in the Mets lineup. They lead the Pirates by a score of 2-0 tonight. Don't forget Dodgers and Cubs will follow us. So Larnach and Rutschman, you play 140 games roughly on average at the major league level. If you took their numbers from college and extrapolated them out, you would see that they would put up sort of just below MVP type numbers at the major league level, and both of these guys will be major leaguers. Rutschman could very well be the #1 overall pick next season as a switch hitting catcher. Larnach's already been selected, and he was a high pick. Right fielder absolutely hammers the baseball like that. first pitch swinging into right field, goes to the wall. Trevor Larnach into second with a double. Professional hitter at the collegiate level. Larnach's 18th double of the season.
First pitch fastball elevated. Larnach spins, and this is what he can do. It's elite bat speed from Larnach down the right field line, but Eric Cole has to cut this ball off. And even if he does, Larnach may end up at second base. The route, Eddie, when he started, I thought he was going to cut it off easily. Instead, the ball gets to the fence. The minute it gets to the fence, Larnach standing on second base with an easy stand-up double.
Larnach's got now 19 hits and 41 at-bats in the NCAA tournament, hitting almost 500. And here comes Adley Rutschman. We showed you those numbers. A 70 RBI season.
Look at the growth, Rav. Year over year. The talk last year about Rutschman was, man, this kid's going to be really good someday. Batting average has jumped almost 160 points. The power number's right behind it, and 80 runs driven in his sophomore year.
10 of those here. So Rutschman got a chance with Larnach at second to break through first. Fastball still at 93 miles an hour from Knight.
And it's not by accident those numbers went up. He dedicated himself to changing his approach at the plate, changing his stance, his hands, the weight distribution in his legs, dedicating himself as a two-sport athlete to one sport and one position behind the plate. This guy's a talented athlete.
Yes. There's not a lot of names that get thrown out as potential first overall picks in the draft. Adley Rutschman's will get thrown around all year next year. Switch hitting catcher with power, a big time arm, and the growth year over year has been monumental.
Good pitch there from Blaine Knight. Slider right underneath the bat path of Adley Rutschman.
No balls, 2 strikes, 0-2.
Knight will show you 2 breaking balls. That was the slider. He'll throw a slow curveball sometimes to try to steal a strike. You usually will not see that slower curveball on 2 strike counts if he's going to try to finish a guy off, especially a left-hander. Try to wrap that slider around their back foot, elevate the fastball here.
Rutschman's got an RBI in all 5 of the College World Series games that Oregon State has played. All 5, looking for 6. Behind 0-2. Yes, he did. Good pitch, filthy slider, and a big out for Blaine Knight in Arkansas to send Rutschman down without any contact.
And this, Kyle, it's knowing how to pitch right here.
Yep.
Gets that check swing, couldn't hold it right there, but the recognition of the spin is just not there as a slider. Late break. Rutschman, first time he faces Knight. 3 pitches, 1 out, runner at second base.
And when he has that slider going, it feels like a night like tonight where you're going to have to get the fastball. Larnach ambushed a first pitch fastball early. It feels like if you're going to get Blaine Knight tonight, probably going to be off of the fastball.
Tyler Malone, the designated hitter, bats now. The sophomore out of Roseville, California, 5'11", 180. Malone has had the spotlight on him here in the postseason, and he has delivered big time. 3 homers in the tournament. Leadoff double, Larnach. He is leading off second base. Boy, that slider, he's locked into something here. Both pitchers doing a great job getting ahead in the count early. See Fletcher out there in center field, one of the best center fielders in the country.
Guys, Blaine Knight's last start here in Omaha, his first start here, he did not have his best stuff. And they said in the 3rd inning, his throwing arm had a tricep cramp. They tried to massage it out, tried to get through it, just never could. So in preparation for this start, did a lot of massage before this game of that throwing arm and the tricep in particular. Also, a lot of hydration, guys.
No sweet tea. No sweet tea. Wasn't that Dave Van Horn the other day?
Not allowed.
Not going to let him have it. Game day. Another slider there, and he steals a strike.
1-2. Yeah, that was at Hoover, wasn't it, during the SEC tournament?
Yeah, I believe so.
Told his team it's hot. We're going to play a lot of games. Stay hydrated. Dave Van Horn out for a run one day. When he was finishing his run, he bopped into a little restaurant, and there was Blaine Knight, who had this vat of sweet tea in front of him. Well, what are you doing?
Didn't we talk about this?
I just plainly forgot.
Tastes good, though.
Slow roll and a short. This is going to be trouble. No throw and an infield single for Tyler Malone. I'm not sure Knight saw that off of his bat. Kind of a weird reaction from the pitcher. Maybe he thought it was hit a little harder.
Well, you look where he falls. He falls off towards the first base side. He had no chance at this. Biggers wisely did not throw this baseball.
I like the mindset here, though, Eddie. Just a little pump
fake
right there, just to see. You never know if you get Larnach going anywhere off of third base, maybe you can steal an out. Instead, Larnach didn't go anywhere.
Third baseman's Michael Gretler. Big chance here for Oregon State early. Heimlich looks good on the mound. They got runners at first and third. One down. Lonnie Lake Washington, the senior, 6'2", 185.
Biggers and Shaddy up the middle. They'll crowd it. Double play situation right here. Casey Martin playing normal depth. I'd play a little bit in. The reason why I'd play a little bit in, slow roller, I'd go home with it. If it's hard, straight at me or to my left, then I would turn two. Can't guarantee a double play from that position there unless it's hard hit.
Malone doesn't run much at first base, just one stolen base attempt on the year.
Yeah, Madrigal's got 15. Quan has 14. No one else has more than 8 when it comes to steals for Oregon State. Oh. 2-0. Kyle Novak is on deck. He was not in the original starting lineup for yesterday's game, which was postponed because of rain. And Pat Casey overnight or sometime today said, you know what, I'm going to take Novak and put him in left field and bat him 8th. So Novak in the lineup after not being in the lineup yesterday. Should be a pretty good pitch to hit at 2-0 to Gretler with Larnach at third and Malone at first. That one is over the head of the shortstop, and Oregon State on an RBI single for Michael Gretler go up 1-0 on Arkansas.
And it was a slider, a 2-0 slider at that, one that he wanted to throw for a strike. Bottom quadrant of the zone. Gretler, give him a lot of credit. 2-0. A lot of hitters usually roll over on that or swing and miss through it. He stayed with it, hits it off the end of the bat, gets himself an RBI. Now you have runners at first and second with 1 out.
It's a good pitch, too. It's exactly where Knight wanted to throw it. Try to steal a strike on the outside part of the plate down. Gretler stayed on it, got enough of it to give the Beavers a lead.
Nearly 3/4 of the Game 1 winners go on to win the College World Series title. And Oregon State is the first to score here in Game 1 of the best of 3. Kyle Novak, the 8-hitter, the redshirt senior, with some home run pop in that bat. Will play left field out of Lake Oswego, Oregon. And a couple of Beavers on the pond. Malone now at second, Gretler at first. Back-to-back seniors in the lineup. Ouch.
I'm all right.
Not only did Travis Katzenmeier let us know it hurt, he told us right on the thigh. He let us know exactly where that was.
That's right. Grant Cook knew too. That's why he's out to have a little fake chat with Blaine Knight right there.
Yep, right there on the inner thigh.
That'll leave a mark.
Second inning has been a very big inning for Oregon State through the course of really the season. They have outscored their opponents 68-17 in the second inning, the largest run differential of any inning. 68-17 with that first run, and they're looking to add to that total. Fastball in there for a strike. 0-2.
took that like he was sitting soft.
Go again.
Yeah, if you look at it, the way that 2-0 pitch for Gretler, I think he was sitting slider also. I wonder with runners in scoring position, they might have something on Knight saying he might go to the slider once too many times.
One thing with Knight is he does not really like elevate the fastball. He likes to live at the bottom part of the zone. This is a spot where you would ideally elevate the fastball. Throw right down the middle, throw right by him.
Third strikeout for Blaine Knight. Novak retired.
Seeing the velocity was 94-95 in the first. Down a tick here, 91-93 for the most part in this inning. 93-mile-an-hour fastball that Blaine Knight just reared back and let go. Novak couldn't catch up. Second strikeout of the inning, third of the game for Blaine Knight.
Think about major league players that played for Arkansas. Keuchel, Andrew Benintendi, of course. He has played great, and Benintendi with an RBI double tonight. He sent out his well wishes to Arkansas. Oregon State, you saw that graphic. Terrific with 2 outs. I mean, like ridiculously good with 2 outs. Zach Taylor, the 9-hitter, looks at a slider away. 1-0. The junior out of Sherwood, Oregon, 6'2", 205. Knight, the 3rd round pick of the Orioles, the 87th selection overall in this 2018 draft. No giving that.
He was expected to go on the first day of the draft, right? And last year was a draft eligible sophomore. Turned down a lot of money to come back here to his junior year. I was talking to Blaine about it the other day, and said he was sitting with his family. He was expecting to go day one. Got a call. Then had to wait. And the way that the draft goes now, it's the first 2 rounds of first day, and then the 3rd round starts the following day. So it was not a situation where Blaine Knight expected to go to sleep that first night, not have heard his name called. He was really mature about it, though. Laid back, said, listen, I can't control it. All I can control now is what happens moving forward. I do think, though, he's a steal in the 3rd round because I think he's going to add weight. I think that velocity is going to go up a little bit more in the fastball. We know the control's there. And we know the slider's there. Now you add a little bit more velo. As he kind of gets that mature weight when he's 24, 25, 26, I think you're going to see him shoot through a system.
It's a system the Orioles you can shoot through right now. 93, 1-2. When you think about organizations that could use some arms, the Orioles would be near the top of the list. Oregon State's got one already in. Larnach with a double, scored on an RBI single by Michael Gretler. As Heimlich waits to go back on the mound. Good pitch on the outside corner. So after giving up that leadoff double, Knight bears down, strikes out the last 2, Novak and Taylor. 1-0 Beavers through 2.
Part of our family, you know, we treat him like a brother. You know, words can't describe just how grateful I am to have him in my life. I'll be close with him for a really long time.
He means the world to me, man. His family and Drew himself are such great people. They've kind of took me under their wing since I got to college, and I love him. We all love him. You know, he loves us.
Oregon State talking about Drew Boedigheimer, the 9-year-old who had a heart transplant at age 2, and he is the inspiration for this Oregon State team. I actually was behind Drew and his dad as they were rolling through the concourse a little bit earlier this week, and his joy as he rolled through here and got so many high fives from everybody. Guys, he's a true celebrity around here. People stopping Drew all over the place wanting to get a picture with him. Just a really neat guy, part of this Oregon State team for sure.
Yeah, we saw something like that with TCU a few years ago, and it's just wonderful to see the college students relate to those kids on that level. And we certainly wish him nothing but the best in his recovery from heart transplant surgery. Start the 3rd inning, and a wild pitch there as Grant Cook steps in, the junior catcher at 243. Pirates picked him in the 5th round of the draft this season. More pain.
There's no mistake in that sound, that's for sure.
Third inning's been a bit of a bugaboo as we listen into the pain and suffering. Poor guy. 2-1. Entering today, State has allowed 23 runs in the College World Series, and 13 of those have come in the 3rd inning. 8-9-1 due up for Arkansas. Grant Cook, center field. Quan not going to be able to get to that. And a loud round of applause here from the Arkansas fans as the Razorbacks get their first hit of the night.
Grant Cook has to love that. He was struggling throughout the College World Series offensively. First at bat here in the finals, gets a base hit. First one for Arkansas.
Number 9 hitter is Jax Biggers. Think about his ability to sacrifice. They don't do it a ton. 3 times this season he's been asked to do it. Fastball right at the knees for a strike.
Different approaches for these two teams, Rab, when it comes to sack bunts. Oregon State has 62 as a team. Arkansas has 21. They don't do it a whole lot.
Well, he tried it once. We were there in Fayetteville.
Yeah,
you see the finger.
That's why the index finger on the left hand has tape all over it. Had that left hand wrapped all the way around the bat. Ball got in on his finger, broke it. Stitch him up.
Not a pretty sight when he took that batting glove off.
No, when he took that glove off and saw the finger for the first time, the look on his face told the whole story.
The odd part is he could probably now remove the bandage and actually wrap it around the bat, but he's become comfortable hitting this way. That's a good one there. Heimlich, 2 fastballs right at the knees to get ahead 0-2.
It looks kind of cool too. When you get to cut the one finger off your batting glove.
Just imagine being that guy that doesn't like to be pointed at.
I know that guy. I know that guy.
Ooh, close. Close one there. Heimlich doesn't get it. He's got 3 strikeouts.
You see Rutschman just glide over, try to sell it.
Yeah, his moves back there are really good. So are Cook's. I mean, we've got 2 elite defensive catchers today. Grant Cook singled just a minute ago to center field, but I think his glove is ultimately going to get him to the big leagues from behind home plate. Bradley Rutschman, it's the whole package.
A lot of Buster Posey comparisons.
Yes.
Which is about as big a compliment as you can give to any catcher. In the dirt, good block, nowhere to go for Cook. Rutschman. That's how they teach you to do it. Get that chest over that baseball. Don't let it get by you.
Yeah, watch him deaden it too, and that's the key. I mean, the best pitch blockers, that baseball doesn't go very far, and if it does, it goes right out in front of him, because that's ideally what you want. You want that thing to almost land on home plate. So if you got to make a throw, momentum is taking you to it.
I talked with Sandy Alomar about catching a lot, and he tells me, he goes, you want to know the difference between a good catcher and a bad catcher? The good catcher always tries to block that pitch. The bad catcher tries to catch that pitch.
There you go, right at the knees, the same pitch that he got his first 2 strikes on. Luke Heimlich picks up his 4th K of the night.
All afternoon, and you see it right there again. Right at the knees, calling the 3rd strike. That's all hitters and pitchers want. Consistency behind the plate, and Travis Katzenmeyer, home plate umpire, has been able to do that so far in 2 1/3 innings of baseball.
A lot better Luke Heimlich tonight than his previous 2 starts. Back to the top of the order for Eric Cole. Strike one. Cole, number 8, grew up really as a hockey player. His dad was a big hockey guy, so he grew up as a hockey player. He also then discovered Eric liked to hit in his backyard, and he hit both righty and lefty. So he encouraged him as a 9-year-old. Let's become a switch hitter. Cole spent his 9-year-old Little League hitting only from the left side. The first at bat as a lefty was awkward. It also resulted in a hit. So he went all in on that. And the Kansas City Royals now make him the 4th round pick.
I think he's going to find his way to the major leagues. I don't know if he's a starting corner guy in the big leagues. He could be a utility outfielder, but Cole gets lost a little bit in this lineup because of the flash that is within it. But he still hit 14 home runs, drove in 51 out of the leadoff spot. He's not a burner, doesn't run great. Routes are usually pretty good in the outfield.
What do you attribute, Eddie? You play college ball. What do you attribute to that big jump? We've seen it a couple times with players here. What's the big jump between one year and the next? Kyle was talking about Andrew Benintendi had a huge jump too, first year to second year.
Well, for me, it was from the second to the third year, and it was a sense of knowing that I belonged in that lineup. You go in and you already know who you are at the plate, which is very important. Your stance changes a bit. Mine went from bat on the shoulder to then bat off the shoulder, and we see the adjustments. We see it throughout every hitter. From Cole, we see it also from Rutschman behind the plate. He did it in the offseason when he went to Cape Cod League. Struggled in the Cape Cod League while he was making the adjustment.
2-1. Cole jammed Gretler to second, to Madrigal to first, and a 5-4-3 double play for Oregon State to get out of the inning.
Second time fastball in on the hands of Eric Cole, and the second time it's gone to the third baseman. Gretler starts it, Madrigal takes it, Taylor finishes it 5-4-3 to end the inning. It's 1-0 Oregon State. He's got a guy out there that he has caught a ton, knows all the tendencies.
Be great insight for the viewer listening to David Ross in that booth as we continue play here. Bottom 3, College World Series Game 1, best of 3. Carl Ravitch, Eduardo Perez, Kyle Peterson, Laura Rutledge down on the field. Stephen Kwan struck out his first time up. He faces Blaine Knight. Time he squared to bunt. Interesting with a guy who's got a rough left hamstring to lay a bunt down and then try to sprint and run it out. A lot of times they'll square to bunt to try to draw the pitcher to throw a ball.
Not only that, Carl, you see a 2-0 count. Look where the third baseman Casey Martin is. He's playing in. You show bunt, you keep him there. He can slap the ball by him at third base. First baseman Gates playing not too deep at first.
Hut! 50 walks and now 17 strikeouts.
Pretty good
for
right?
Kwan. Yeah, that's
that'll
okay.
Play. That'll play.
That's what you want your leadoff hitter to do. 467 on base percentage for Kwan coming into this ball game.
Up the middle, fielded nicely by Carson Shaddy. He throws him out. Couple of steps to his right, and he throws out Kwan.
I think this is one thing also that Coach Casey wanted to see. Yes, he made contact, but how will he run down the line? Right out of the box. Stephen Kwan, pretty quick and fleet-footed. You can say he's tightly wrapped. That hamstring is. Didn't look too smooth though running, but at least it's good enough to play center field.
That's the first time we've really seen him have to test it, I think. On the ball that Cook hit to center field, he took a few quick steps and I knew he wasn't going to get there, so pulled the chute so he could play it off of one hop. That time the first 3 or 4 steps out of the box were full speed. When he saw that Shaddy had it, it looked like he pulled up a little bit, which is understandable.
Slider up in the zone, strike one. Caden Grenier, the shortstop, flew out to right field his first time up. Does Grenier stay at shortstop at the next level?
Yes. Yeah, and I really think the glove is the bigger thing that got Grenier drafted. The question about Grenier is whether or not the bat is going to play as he goes up through a system, but I do think the glove fits it short.
Oh! Doesn't chase there. Another good look as the sun begins to set a little bit here in Omaha, the nation's heartland. A little cloud has showed up, but the left side of that infield and outfield, when the cloud disappears, they are still bathing in sunshine. Haven't seen any balls elevated to the left fielder yet.
One.
So you, on SportsCenter, we showed some video. You went fishing with Blaine Knight.
We had a fun day with Blaine and Matt Cronin, the closer. Yeah, it's Blaine's pretty comfortable when he's out
fishing.
He was a little bit more comfortable than I was. He.
Well, how do you mean? What do you mean he was comfortable?
Well, he won.
Oh, that part, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a fish whisperer.
He is that. Yeah.
He caught 10 fish. Was that right? He caught 10 fish?
Oh, yeah. He was throwing a spinner, and I mean, it didn't take three, 4 casts before he had his first one. It's about 5 minutes in, Blaine caught his first fish. We were there about 2 hours. About 5 minutes before we left, I caught my only fish with an assist to Matt Cronin, the closer, who we both had to take our shoes off and go in and get it because I had wrapped it around a log. It was impressive.
You wrapped the line around the log?
Did, yeah. I mean, there's pictures of it, so I can't lie about it now. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. And he saved me.
He went in and just grabbed the fish.
He did. Yeah. Snapped the line.
Must have been pretty cool for them, right? I mean, they like to fish anywhere. They had probably not fished in Omaha before. Or were you in Iowa?
They had gone. No, we were in Iowa, but they had gone once already. I mean, they got their little travel rigs. We had a lot of fun.
3-2 to Grenier. Good one, popped up. And Fletcher. 2 down. So one guy's got a fish in his hand.
Yep, the other 2 don't. That was kind of consistent throughout the course of the day. Oh, hey, look, there's another one. Nope, still nothing there.
Is he a talker?
This was.
Does he like to talk about it? Does he sort of rub it in a little bit? Like,
I mean, he rubbed it into Cronin a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are kind of the 2 that they'll always
respectful
find
of his
something.
elder. He wasn't gonna.
He was hunt, fish, throw sliders. Pretty simple life approach for Blaine Knight.
Well, they got some fishing down in the Maryland area.
He'll find it.
Here's Madrigal with 2 outs, and he looks at a fastball up for a ball.
Yeah, KP, they may not have been rubbing it in your face when you guys were actually out there fishing, but a couple of the guys today saying, man, that KP, he really can't fish. And, you know, the best part was they were like, he's the one who invited us. So we thought maybe he knew how to do it.
Ouch. Wow.
Laura.
Just reporting the facts.
Some stuff you keep yourself, Laura. I mean, the mic's open, like the whole world can hear that.
Best part about it, he goes fishing in Beaver Lake in Fayetteville.
Not
By the way, not anymore. During this College World Series, Army Corps of Engineers actually changed the name to Omaha Lake.
I like that. So there's no more Beaver Lake in Fayetteville, at least not this week. Trying to get through the top of this order, Quan, Grenier, both went down. Madrigal, that's going to get into the seats. All right, Eddie, from a hitting perspective, let's give a little scouting report. What makes Madrigal? He's a 3 hitter. He doesn't have a ton of size at 5'8", 165. How does he project?
He projects very well at the major league level, and one of the biggest reasons he understands the strike zone well. Is not afraid to swing with 2 strikes. Covers the plate unbelievably. Had 6 strikeouts the entire season. 6 strikeouts. Yes, he missed half the season with a broken hand, but still.
167 at bats still.
Very impressive. Uses the entire field, not afraid to go the other way.
1-2 center field. Fletcher stepped in. Now he goes back, and for 1 second it felt like it might get over his head. The ball did get over the wall, but only with the help of Fletcher. He'll be back to Omaha after this. Dinner time.
I've had a lot of family friends call me over the past couple of days and say they've already bought tickets. Last game our Pizza Pro out there put up 5% for every hit or 10% for like every RBI I get like off pizza. So the whole town's like text me like, come on, like you can do it, this and that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Pressure.
All about the pizza, guys, for Casey Martin from Lone Oak, Arkansas. A lot of Lone Oak people here in Section 126, the TD Ameritrade. And by the way, Pizza Pro has a double-decker pepperoni pizza for $12.99. I just thought maybe KP needed to know that, and maybe everybody else up there, too.
Thank you.
KP will bury himself in some pizza. Loves this double-decker.
Yeah, that's hard to turn down from the Pizza Pro.
We got a lot of eating going on. We saw Baby going to break, chowing down. Lone Oak Jackrabbits 0-2, and Heimlich looks good here in the top of the fourth, working quickly, throwing strikes. Nasty pitch, good slider in the dirt, and Rutschman throws to first for the out. 5 strikeouts for Luke Heimlich.
This is a kid that Dave Van Hart wasn't sure if he'd get him to campus. Casey Martin, when it went through the draft, thought maybe he would be taken high enough that ultimately he would sign and go. He didn't. He will be in 2 years. Casey Martin stays healthy. This is a top 10 overall type talent. Lone Oak, Arkansas, population 4,200, which is less than the GA section here at TD Ameritrade. Little different setting than Lone Oak High School, that's for sure. The kid has adjusted great, though.
Here's Heston Kjerstad. He's been one of the best hitters all season for Arkansas. And Eddie, it just looks like he has not yet got comfortable here the last couple of games on what pitch is coming to him and when.
Most of the at-bats have started 0-1 this College World Series against him. Right there, pitch close, could have been called either way.
You ever been in that position where all of a sudden you're kind of locked up? You don't know when to swing and what's coming?
Absolutely. Every player goes through it.
How do you get out of it? I mean, what's
time? The beauty of this game is you play it every day. You got to have short-term memory. You have to be able to turn the page quickly, and that's one thing that Kirsten has been able to do his freshman year.
Heston Kjerstad with a K there, silent J, Norwegian descent, parents settled in South Dakota. His dad Dave said you get a piece of land and you call it your own out in South Dakota, but then he said it was a rough life. I still say South Dakota should have been left for the Buffalo. That was Dad.
Come on now.
Yep. And how do you get Heston? He said Heston Heavy Equipment, and then there was Charlton Heston. That's where Heston comes from. 3-2.
I like that. Charlton Heston.
Charlton Heston. Rather than naming him Charlton Kjerstad, we went with Heston Kjerstad.
Did him a favor there. Easier to spell when you're a kid.
You don't have any kids named no kids named Charleston. Ouch.
Foul ball.
Almost sounded like he got him on his fingers, but there was no reaction to it.
Look at the knob.
Well, if it would have got in his hand, it would have been strike 3 too, because he swung at this.
Foul ball.
A fastball inside earlier in this at bat. It did not look like Kjerstad wanted it in there. Went back to it right there, got the foul ball. See if Heimlich stays right there.
Game 1, best of 3, College World Series. Win game 1 73% of the time. You go on and take home the title. Luke Bonfield on deck, and you saw just a second ago Dominic Fletcher grab a bat. There he is. 3-2, center field. Quan says, I got it. And he does. 2 down. For more coverage of the College World Series and interactive brackets, go to ncaa.com. The greatest show on dirt have the heels of Carolina here. They checked out. Mississippi State. College baseball news, so Mississippi State did not keep their interim coach who got him here to the College World Series, Gary Henderson. They went in a different direction.
They did, yeah, and they did it very, very quickly. Chris Lemonis, the former head coach at Indiana, was named the head coach at Mississippi State. Jake Gautreaux was a hitting coach for Mississippi State this year. Looks like he will stay put, which is a very good thing. I would say this about Gary Henderson. The job that he did for Mississippi State this year was pretty incredible. When you take over a team week 2 of the season and ultimately get him as one of the final 3 teams playing in the country. And while he was not named the head coach at Mississippi State, I do not think it'll be long until he's got a head job somewhere else, and he deserves it.
Will he stay as the pitching coach there?
I don't think so, no.
0-1 to Luke Bonfield. That's down 1-1. Oregon State has not really benefited, in spite of the fact that they are in the College World Series Finals, from good starting pitching. They really got one good start. It was the freshman Kevin Abel, who went 7 innings against Mississippi State.
And he was really good that day. But yeah, besides that, their starters, I mean, it's really been their bullpen that's picked them up and carried them to this point. Been different tonight. Heimlich has been on point.
3-1 count coming to a guy, Bonfield, who's got 9 homers this season. See if he challenges him. The left fielder very, very deep, Kyle Novak.
Got a lefty on deck and Dominic Fletcher. Last time he was in a hitter's count against Carson Shaddy. It was a 3-2, it wasn't 3-1. Went slider down and in for ball 4. The lefty on deck.
That'll be a foul ball. 3-1 slider. It's been a very effective pitch for Luke Heimlich tonight.
Let's make sure he gets the count right. 3-2.
Scoreboard out in right field he looked at had said 2-2. He knew what the count was. Now it says 3-2 and we're all set to go. Beaten into the ground. Grenier. Got him. Back to back. 1, 2, 3 innings for Luke Heimlich. 3.5 in the books. Beavers 1, Arkansas nothing.
For me, baby.
Save it! That's your warning.
I got it. Are you talking to me? No, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking.
Stop. That's right there, baby.
I got you. Give him a couple minutes there. That's not a good spot. He just took one.
That almost got me. You got to block that. Save! I got it!
Oh, welcome back to the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One.
I love that.
A lot of good sound there. That. My favorite has always been the "not talking to you." No, we're not.
I like
we're not.
Save it. The save it call. Save it.
Oh boy. Umpiring has been very consistent.
Yeah, it has been good.
Use of instant replay is not something that is emphasized at the College World Series. The SEC play and the SEC network does a lot more of it. The Division I Baseball Committee is going to meet in July. There's a real good chance we expand what is used here for instant replay. There's certainly enough cameras, 28 cameras, so that's no reason not to do it. I think by the time we're here next year, we'll do a little bit more of it. Larnach, first pitch swing, skies it to left. Left fielder has no idea where it is. No idea. It bounces off the dirt and goes over the wall. Heston Kjerstad victimized by the sun. He never saw it. And Larnach is aboard with his second double of the night.
And that's a big problem. And you use those glasses, those shades, it's hard to see the ball off the bat. And then once you see the ball, you don't see the ball off the bat because of the shadows. It goes right in the sun. You see his shadows. He has no clue. He's asking for help. And there's a trick to this when you're playing the outfield. It's if you're going to wear the glasses, you actually have to put them a little bit lower, so you're looking straight at the hitter without the glasses on. You usually have the flip glasses. These kids don't know how to use that. They always use the Oakley style glasses.
Well, we had talked about how brutal left field would be with that sun, and that was a perfect example. Heston Kjerstad never for a second knew where that ball was.
And if he does, it's an out.
Right.
I mean, there's plenty. I know the ball landed on the Warner track, but still, that ball was in the air for a long time. If he sees it, that's an out. Instead, Larnach has leadoff doubles in each of his first 2 at-bats.
And that's a College World Series record, 5th double for Larnach. Here's Rutschman. He was up in the situation in the second and struck out. This time into center field. Fletcher got a good jump. Little deke of Larnach. He'll stay at third as the ball comes way into the catcher. And now you got first and third, nobody out.
When you're a left fielder and you have the sun right there, but you have the shadows in the infield, one trick is actually you have the hat on, you can put your shades like this. So you're looking at the hitter, and then as soon as that comes up, you can pop them up once you see it goes in the sun. When you have the glasses on, it's hard to see the ball off the bat. And that's what happened to him right there. He had no idea where that trajectory was. And because of that, he couldn't get to the vicinity of where that ball fell. I mean, he was completely lost. That ball went, and it's a bad feeling.
That's a lonely feeling.
It's a really bad feeling.
Wes Johnson, a pitching coach out for Arkansas, and I think this is the absolute right time to come out. And when that ball comes off the bat, there's a feeling on the mound when the ball goes into play, and you immediately in your mind think it's an out or it's not an out. When you think it's an out and it's not an out, it's a quick reset, and then you follow right after that. Rutschman singles that to center field. Good time just to slow everybody down here for a minute.
Yeah, and a good shot there of Kjerstad going over to talk to Fletcher, basically telling him, I couldn't see that ball, as the 2 outfielders converse about the sun.
The College World Series Finals, Oregon State versus Arkansas, Game 2, tomorrow at 7 on ESPN.
Well, so far it's kind of gone according to form. Larnach has been the best hitter in the World Series, followed immediately by Adley Rutschman. Larnach's got 2 doubles. Granted, one of them could have been an out, but in any event, he set a College World Series record now with 5 doubles. Rutschman delivers a single. You got first and third. Both pitchers pitching pretty well. Arkansas's offense has been held in check. They have 1 hit. Now Arkansas is trying to prevent a crooked number. Oregon State with a good pitcher and a very rested bullpen in a great position now to increase that lead and allow Heimlich to give you a couple more innings and then turn it over to a lights out pen. Tyler Malone singled his first time up. Close one. Knight wanted it. Instead, 1-1.
Really good pitch right there. That changes a lot from 0-2 to 1-1 right there with that pitch. Had plate over the knees.
Yeah, he steals a strike there. You get in a 2-strike count. Knight's going to try to punch him out with that slider down and in.
Just as difficult it is for the hitters with the shadows, it's still in play behind Blaine Knight. It is also for the umpire.
Malone very comfortable at TD Ameritrade. He's got 3 home runs. No swing, 2-1. Nice job by the designated hitter, the sophomore out of Roseville, California. Big part of this game in the bottom of the 4th. One thing Oregon State and Heimlich have done, really taken that Arkansas huge crowd out of this one by allowing just one hit. Fly ball to left is another dangerous proposition as Kerstad in the middle of a sun-baked left field. Quick bat, huh, Eddie? Tyler Malone?
Quick bat, pitching him backwards right now with runner in scoring position at third base. He's gone to the slider early. And just like the same MO in the second inning and third, he goes to the fastball late.
He was back foot too, and I think that's the one thing to watch with Malone. If Knight wants to strike him out with a slider here, a lot of times you're going to throw that back foot slider. The one thing to watch, based on where Malone is in the box, is that back foot is way on top of the plate. So where you would normally throw it, may hit it.
2-2, smothered. They'll go to second for one. Back to first, nobody there. Had a chance perhaps to come home to get Larnach. Instead, Jared Gates opted to throw to Biggers. And we have still one down.
You know what? It's not going to matter.
Sending him back. You're right.
It's not going to matter.
Larnach is going back to third base.
Chris Koski's the second base umpire and immediately called interference. So when that happens, you got out at second, out at first, base runner goes back to third. That changes the entire ball game. Watch the slide. That's the key here. Rutschman's the base runner. Does he go straight into the base? Well, he didn't slide, and I guess ultimately that's the call.
I don't understand how that's interference. Again, he's not even close to the bag yet. He's ducking. He's getting himself out of the way right there. He's in no harm's way of the second baseman. This is the second time that Oregon State gets called for interference at second base in this College World Series.
Reminds me a little bit of the LSU play from last College World Series, but clearly at Rutschman's choice, if you're not going to run or slide, he attempted to duck, but just get all the way down. I'm sure that's what Pat Casey's being told.
Well, but here's exactly the way the rule reads.
Yeah.
The rule reads on any force play, the runner must slide on the ground before the base in a direct line between the two bases. So if you read the rule the way that it is written, you have to slide. I'm not saying it's right.
I get it. I get it. But look where he ducked.
I understand duck, but if the rule says you have to slide on the ground and he didn't slide on the ground, ultimately you can't do that.
I wonder if he'd be allowed to peel off towards right field. Could he peel off and totally get out of the way, or is that also interference?
I don't know the immediate answer to that. I mean, we see it plenty of times, and in that case you would hope that it's okay because the whole intent is to not bother the throw. But at any rate, we saw this in the finals last year.
That's what I said.
Remember that we saw this in the finals last year where a play like that totally changed the course of the ball game. LSU didn't score a run. Florida goes on to win the national title. That is a giant play on one that I thought anyway the Gates should have come home.
I would agree. So it goes down as a 3-6-4, and instead of having one out and a 2-run lead, there are 2 outs and it's still 1-zip. Now Gretler still can bring Larnach in. He stands there at third base. Gretler singled and has an RBI already. First pitch outside, ball 1. We'll see and circle that if that's a deciding play in this one.
Well, and now you got a shot in the arm on the mound, because when you think you got one out, you're down 2-0. Now you look up, it's a 1-0. It's a 1-0 lead still, and you got a chance to get out of this inning. Then we see a little bit more velo right there from Blaine Knight. That last fastball, 93 miles an hour.
We will talk with Pat Casey. Misses up high, and obviously that will be one question, his interpretation of what happened out there versus the rule. Maybe one more time, because I'm sure there are people at home who are wondering, like, what was that rule? Just read that rule one more time.
On any force play, the runner must slide on the ground before the base in a direct line between the two bases.
Must slide.
Permissible for the slider's momentum to carry him through the base and the baseline extent. But ultimately, the wording says you must slide on the ground. That had to have been what the call was.
2-0 slider in there. Chris Koski and Pat Casey had a fairly lengthy conversation.
In the meantime, Blaine Knight throws a 2-0 slider. Same pitch he threw to Gretler in that second inning where he got the base hit to drive in the only run of the game. This time executed it, took a little bit more off. Gretler was ahead.
You almost understand the intent of that rule. If you're not sliding or peeling off to right, which you see at every level, you do run the risk of injury. You run the risk of a shortstop throwing the ball right at you. That's the risk you would take by not getting down.
Well, I would say I think there was zero intent on Rutschman's standpoint.
None.
I mean, he was just trying to get out of the way and kind of got sped up in his mind.
Big pitch, 2-2, runner at third, 2 down, bottom of the fourth. Yanks it 3-2. Chase, and wow, what a momentum changer that possibly could be. Strikeout of Gretler. Pat Casey is livid, and he is yelling out at the second base umpire, Chris Koski. Intensity starting to run real high here at the World Series.
You're watching the College World Series presented by Capital One, joined by Oregon State head coach Pat Casey. And Coach, what was the explanation you were given on the interference call?
He told me that the runner ran into the fielder. Said he went right into him, and I watched it on the video, and it appeared to me he was trying to stop and duck and avoid anything because he couldn't get there because the ball was hit so hard. So I don't understand the call.
Luke Heimlich tonight. What's different with him tonight than the other 2 starts here?
Well, he's throwing strikes. He's able to command a little bit of a breaking ball tonight. I think he's a little more competitive, maybe a little bit more relaxed. But, you know, got off to a good start. Maybe that helped him out.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, unfortunately, that wasn't a great explanation.
Well, so here's the thing. To me, if that is the explanation, I disagree with the call.
Of course.
I think the way that it is written, if the explanation was he needs to slide and he didn't slide, I get it.
Sure.
If the explanation was he was going into the runner, I don't think that happened.
Guys, if you're a runner and you're running towards second base, you don't know when the ball's coming at all. You don't know the timing. The ball's happening behind you.
Yeah, exactly.
All of a sudden, that ball's in front of you. He's like, okay. There's just... I'm baffled.
First pitch pops out to the first baseman. All right, let's listen into what the explanation sounded like.
No, he didn't. He went right into the fielder. He went right into him.
He didn't even get to the bag. He ducked, so he didn't avoid him. I just watched it on here.
He went right into the fielder.
He didn't even get to the bag.
That's what I got, Pat.
So you're saying he got to the bag?
Guys, I'm telling you right now, as a runner, you're looking and you're going to slide to the bag. There is no way that you're going to slide way before the bag when that ball zips right past you like that.
Okay.
There's no way you can. You're going to get hurt if you try to do that.
Because ultimately you don't know where it is.
Right.
Because your natural reaction is...
If the ball's in front of you, if it's a shortstop,
correct.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think your point, which is really good, is when you don't see it, you're going to slide at the base. You're not going to slide 15 feet in front of it normally. And when you can't see where the ball's coming from, you're assuming that your natural slide's going to be at second base.
Absolutely. That's why the rules, I understand what they say, but you cannot take it literally. Plus, what he just said right there makes absolutely no sense with what happened.
Here's the reality of it. It's an absolute game changer. I mean, because you get out of it in that spot.
And that's unfortunate.
You get confidence from a Blaine Knight standpoint. He pitches out of it, doesn't give up anything. And if you're Arkansas right now, you're still one swing away from tying this thing up.
Right, so Rutschman sees the ball is caught. He still continues. Maybe the ball gets thrown into the outfield. As soon as he realizes the ball's behind him, look, I understand the whole thing. I think if he peels away towards the outfield, we don't have this conversation. He did not run into the fielder. He clearly got in the fielder's way, which is not grounds for interference, but he didn't slide. And it's funny, it felt like the umpire cited a reason which wasn't exactly what happened when he could have cited the rule which would have applied. He didn't slide.
I agree.
I just feel like that's why we see so many guys peeling off to the outfield. We've seen players, Major League players, sliding like 30 feet before second.
But the ball in the play is always in front of you when that happens. It's always in front of you.
To
when
the
that
second
happens.
baseman on a ground ball.
To
You
the
see
runner,
it. Right.
exactly.
I
You
get
see
that.
it. That's why you peel out.
No, Shaddy walks. He has walked twice. Those are the only 2 walks that Heimlich has allowed. Heimlich on 1 pitch got the very dangerous Fletcher, which was a huge start to this inning, given it felt like the momentum perhaps on that 1 play had shifted back to Arkansas, but not yet. Good pitcher can slow down any momentum that a team feels, and Heimlich's been outstanding so far. Here's Gates, didn't look good his first time up, and popped out to right.
Actually, they didn't look good in the first pitch, the fastball inside, and then he hung him a slider.
Yeah, that first pitch fastball did not look good. As Rutschman goes out, what do you think about what Pat's answer was regarding Heimlich? More engaged.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, the other thing that gets you more engaged, you strike out 2 guys in the first inning, you go 1, 2, 3. I mean, then everything slows down, and you go back to doing what he's done the entire year. Yes, the other thing that I've noticed, and it's changed a little bit in this inning, but the pace is different. I mean, there is a confidence in the pace that we did not see the first 2 times that Luke Heimlich pitched in this College World Series. And the stuff's better. And that helps too. When you can really trust your stuff. Clearly he's been able to do it tonight, but now he's throwing 5 straight balls. That's 6. See the velocity? We were 94, 95 in the first. That last fastball was 89.
Big Nate Yeske, the pitching coach for Oregon State, recognized the same thing. As he goes out there, he'll be serenaded by Arkansas fans. ...419 miles away, about a 6-hour ride. The more you come to the heartland, you realize 5, 6, 4-hour rides, that's like nothing.
Oh, that's nothing.
That's a nice
nothing,
little drive.
Man, you kidding me? Fill up outside of Kansas City and you're here in no time.
As passionate about baseball as they are in the SEC and Arkansas, Mississippi State, LSU, there's a very special relationship between the baseball fan in Corvallis, Oregon, and this team from Oregon State. A lot of their fans are staying in the same hotel we are, and they have such a terrific relationship with that baseball team. That's a long trip from Corvallis here to Omaha, and they have shown up and supported their team all season long and are doing it here. Let's see if that meeting helps out. 2-0 for the first. Down the middle. 2-1. 89 miles an hour. Took a little bit off. Over the head of the first baseman into right field. Quickly going to third base is Shaddy, and Arkansas in business. The ball comes all the way in. There's nobody covering first base, and now getting back to first base is Jared Gates. But all of a sudden, the momentum is clearly on Arkansas' side. A high hopper over the head of Zach Taylor.
And because Taylor is holding the runner on, that's the only reason this gets over his head. Comes off, goes straight over the top of his head. Madrigal almost got there. Was shaded all the way to the right side. Was pushed onto the pull side for Gates. But instead, bounces over the head of Taylor. Shaddy goes first to third, and Arkansas has their first real scoring opportunity in this ballgame now in the 5th inning.
Have we lost you? You're upset about that call at second base, aren't you?
No, you haven't lost me. No, I was just thinking. You think about that play. You think about also everything that happened. Pitcher didn't even cover first base, which we had also not even talked about. But right now, you have to give a lot of credit to the Arkansas offense. They're feeding off these fans here at TD Ameritrade Park.
Here's Grant Cook. He's the number 8 hitter, the catcher. Started like perhaps he was getting a fastball, tried to slow down on the breaking ball, and he's behind 0-1. First time tonight, the Razorbacks have had a runner in scoring position. Arkansas has been a score early team. Innings 1 through 6 to get a +21 run differential. Oregon State's done a lot of their business late in the game. Cook out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, 34 RBI on the season. Rips this one in the left, and we're tied. RBI 35, in from third is Shaddy, and it's a new ball game.
Cook's giving the fans a reason to get off their feet. 2 line drive base hits. Tonight, this one a big one. After being pretty much silenced the entire College World Series, Grant Cook has shown up to play.
We talked to Dave Van Horn about it on Monday morning. And he said, Cook's been great behind the plate. And we've told him, just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You just handle the pitchers. You just handle the pitchers. But we know that it's bothering him right now. He came up with the biggest swing of the night right there for Arkansas.
Now 2 for 12 at the College World Series. He had been 1 for 11. Jax Biggers, the shortstop, struck out his first time up. Ball, strike 1. Just foul. 0-2. Interview with Dave Van Horn. Laura will speak with the longtime Arkansas coach. Took over in 2003. Had a couple years left on a contract that already the athletic director said we're going to revisit and extend when the season is over.
Two of the most respected and best head coaches in the game going head to head in this one.
Back-to-back singles for Gates and Cook. They're at first and second. Arkansas's got their first run of the game here in the 5th. And the 0-2 on the way to Jax Biggers.
Last time struck out Biggers on a fastball down in the zone. Looking.
81 pitches, no activity in the Oregon State bullpen. And that'll get into the seats. Shouldn't be a problem now. That ball off the bat looked like it might be heading to the left field. Shouldn't be a problem now with the outfield and the sun. It's now gone down. You can see the enormous shadow there in left field and right field. And it shouldn't bother Quan given the angle of where the sun is going down. Bottom of the order has done the job tonight for Arkansas. This is the 9-hitter. That got him on the arm, and the bases are going to be loaded. A 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball that stayed up. And Oregon State now, after the 19th hit batter by Luke Heimlich this season, goes to the top of the order with the bases loaded.
They're going to have to get somebody in that bullpen. There's no one out there right now. They're going to have to run, make a quick sprint out of it, because this could get out of control in a hurry for Coach Casey and the Oregon State Beavers.
And of course, given that time we had off, everybody for Oregon State's rested, and now a whole handful are running down there. Chamberlain is going down there. Looks like Eisert is going down there. Brandon Eisert 37, Chamberlain 34. Now you turn the lineup over. Eric Cole. Had grounded out twice. Play started by the third baseman. A double play in the third. Good pitch to start him off. Breaking ball in there for a strike.
Both at bats, Heimlich has thrown the fastball in on the hands of Eric Cole. Both times it's been a ground ball to the third baseman.
Gates, Cook, and Biggers aboard. Eric Cole in a mini slump, 0 for his last 8 at the World Series. Third on the team in RBIs, 51 on the season.
Hit it.
That hit him. That hit him. I think it hit him. It's going to bring a run in, and it is. Cole got hit by a pitch. 20th hit batter by Luke Heimlich. Arkansas's gone on top 2-1.
Another breaking ball. And this one he just spiked. I mean, the pitch before it slipped out of his hands, it went up and in and hit Biggers. This one he just tugged, held on to it a little bit too long, goes into the dirt. Cole's not going anywhere. It's the one thing for Heimlich this year. He's walked just 26 guys and 125 and a third coming in, but he's now hit 20. Back to back right there. It gives Arkansas the lead.
And a very, very dangerous Casey Martin. He has set him down twice with strikeouts.
Casey Martin's seen 6 pitches, 5 sliders.
Yep. And both times he struck out, the strikeout pitch has been the slider.
Out of the zone, too. Got him chasing.
The interference play, which led to a double play in the bottom of the 4th, seemed to turn the momentum around in a game that Oregon State was in control of. Since then, all Arkansas, and they're loaded for Martin with 1 down. Slow roller to second. Madrigal loses it. He was going to go to second, had it slip out of his hand. Another run in, and an error on the second baseman. 3-1 Arkansas.
Out of the corner of his eye, he sees Cole running at him, peeks up really quick. Tries to be too quick with it, trying to get that lead runner at second base, knowing it was going to be a sure out, and does not safely grab the ball. If you look at it, the transition is done away from his body instead of close to his body, and that's why that ball was not able to be controlled.
Well, and here's the other thing, with Martin running, you're only getting 1 out.
Yeah.
I mean, in that you are only getting 1 out. Yes, he had enough time to go to second base if it's fielded cleanly. The easier play there is probably just throw Martin out of first.
Here's Kerstad. First pitch blocked. And right now, Luke Heimlich needs to have somebody go talk to him.
Right now. I would go get him right now.
Christian Chamberlain, the lefty, warming up. And here comes Nate Yeskie, and we're making the move right now. Wow, did that unravel very quickly after that critical interference call at second base. Up until this inning, Arkansas had 1 hit against Luke Heimlich, and he had 5 strikeouts. That very well may be the last time we see Luke Heimlich on the mound at Oregon State. He leaves. We'll come back with the bases loaded. Certainly feels like a home game for Arkansas right now. The momentum has changed dramatically after getting just 1 hit in the first 4 innings. They've gotten 2. There was an error as well. 2 hit batters. Luke Heimlich, who looks so solid, is out of the game. For Oregon State, they have made 9 errors in the College World Series. No other team has more than 5. And now you turn it over to Christian Chamberlain, who was at least considered to be a starter in this game. He's been really strong as of late. 19 appearances this season, an ERA of 4. And for a freshman to come into a College World Series game already behind in the count 1-0 with the bases loaded.
Yeah, this is not the interest you were thinking if you're Christian Chamberlain. They love his stuff. It's a fastball in the low 90s and a true 12-6 breaking ball. But now in a 2-0 hole with the bases loaded.
Giving up 23 walks in the season.
3rd appearance at the College World Series. He's gone 2 and 3 innings. And again, he'd already had a ball on Kjerstad, so that first one makes it 2-0. And now it's 3-0. That interference play, we'll show it again, rocked the world of Pat Casey and Oregon State. And as you said, Kyle, at the time, it really lifted Blaine Knight, who may have been teetering her a little. It's been about 25 minutes since Blaine Knight last threw a pitch. Ball 4, not close. 4-1 Arkansas as Chamberlain comes in and throws 3 straight balls to walk Kjerstad.
You know, it's interesting, down in that Oregon State bullpen, there's nobody throwing. And we saw Brandon Iser go down at the exact same time that Christian Chamberlain did. I think now you have a difficult decision if you're Pat Casey. You look at the board, you're down 4-1. And I understand we're only in the 5th, but Iser's one of your main bullpen guys. How much longer can you go with Chamberlain if he can't find the strike zone? And if you go to somebody else, can you go to the guy that maybe is your best in the bullpen right now with what is at least now a 3-run deficit?
Been a very bizarre last 40 minutes here at the College World Series with the interference call. 2 hit batters, couple of walks here, and another ball to Luke Bonfield, your cleanup hitter with the bases loaded, the designated hitter, and the senior out of Skillman, New Jersey. Bonfield's gone deep here. He's got 9 homers on the season. Begging for it, didn't get it. 2-0.
Tried something different there. Not the fastball, went off speed. Still did not get it, and the fans, they're letting him know also.
Five straight balls. Ball strike.
Dylan Pierce, the lefty, starting to move around a little bit for Oregon State.
Really good speed at third base, guys, too, on a ball that would be a fly out to the outfield. Cole can really fly. Potential tag up. That's a good one. 2-2. Dutchman pumps his fist. Brutal situation for Chamberlain to come in on. There you go. Good breaking ball in there for a strike, and Bonfield leaves with a bat on his shoulder. You really could see and feel Chamberlain get comfortable that at bat.
Hanging slider, once those knees gave up on it, hard to pull the trigger with the hands.
Did you see Rutschman let that ball travel to him? Caught it all the way into his body. Just waiting for as long as he possibly can, because he wants that ball to move as far down as possible, knowing it's at the top end of the zone. If he goes and gets it, he's going to catch it much higher than he ultimately did right in front of his chest protector.
Not easy, though. Dominic Fletcher 0 for 2. He led this inning off by popping out to the first baseman. He's got the breaking ball now working in there for a strike. Two. He had a 4 for 4 game. He is 5 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And he currently has the bases loaded. Go back to that breaking ball.
0-2, yeah.
Just don't hang it.
He went, and they will strand 3. Arkansas with a rally, and we'll see if Oregon State now can answer. Good job by the freshman in a tough spot.
You're watching the College World Series presented by Capital One. Arkansas head coach Dave Van Horn here with us. And coach, how was that interference call a momentum changer for you guys?
Well, because it took a run off the board, obviously, and you know they had all of a sudden they had 2 outs, runner on third, and then Blaine, got that third out and got us back in the dugout. And we took advantage of a couple of walks and a couple of well-placed balls, and we jumped on them.
You mentioned Blaine Knight. It's his final start in an Arkansas uniform. What have you seen from him so far?
Well, he's been pretty good, really. He went down and hit a slider that blooped it over the shortstop's head. They got an infield hit, that really helped that inning out. We had a fly ball drop in the sun, and he's hung in there and kept it close, and then we put some runs up for him.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. So Knight back on the mound, and you certainly understand the different emotions on the spectrum right now for that guy, Pat Casey and Dave Van Horn. That whole inning, they got only 2 hits, did Arkansas. They benefited from walks, hit batters. And it's a frustrating game right now for Pat Casey and Oregon State. We'll revisit that interference play, which seemed to turn the entire game around in a couple of minutes. So his last pitch was 7:38. It's now 8:08 here in Omaha. 9:08 in the East.
He'll take that rest, though. That's a good reason to sit on the bench for a while for Blaine Knight.
Strike 1 to Kyle Novak.
All that time off, and all of a sudden he throws that first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Great composure right now by Blaine Knight.
Strike 2. Novak struck out his first time up. So did the on-deck batter Zach Taylor. Novak saying it hit him on the elbow, and the home plate umpire Travis Katzemar didn't agree with it.
That's the one you got to get there. Blaine Knight trying to bury that slider down and away. That one snuck over the middle of the plate.
Oregon State team that has faced 4 elimination games. They lost their opener, Carolina, and have since won 4 elimination games. So the 1-2 right off the mask of Grant Cook behind home plate.
The grind of being behind the plate.
Both men.
Yeah. Hats off to both of them.
Archman and Larnick will have another chance. Maybe 2. The 1-2. Nope.
2-2.
Knight is a tall, thin pitcher. He's actually put on a bunch of weight in an off-season weight program. There you go, strike 3 with a slider. And as Kyle said, he anticipates that to continue as he makes his way through the minor leagues. He picks up his 6th K.
Guys, Blaine Knight enjoying that 30 minutes of rest between this inning, and he actually spent a lot of the time rolling out his tricep. We talk about how he had the tricep cramp the last time he pitched here, trying to make sure that that didn't happen again. Also spent a while back up in the tunnel throwing as much as he could. He says that one of the best things that he can do for himself is to throw when he has those long layoffs, because it keeps his velocity going, keeps the momentum going for him. He said if he stops throwing for too long, it doesn't work out very well for him.
That pitch came in, Laura, at 95 miles an hour.
Velocity's still there.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen that number since the first, I believe.
What's the mindset of a pitcher, Kyle, when an inning like that is going on, and it almost felt like we could all see it happening, to remove yourself instead of getting caught up in it by going up in the tunnel and throwing? Or do you stay and kind of want to watch it?
I didn't really want to watch. No, we didn't have a tunnel, so there was nowhere to go. You were kind of stuck in the. You were kind of stuck in the.
You played before tunnels.
Yeah, I mean, whether you want to see it or not,
pre-tunnel area.
I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. I mean, I think everybody kind of does it differently. And looking back on it, there were times I was actually annoyed by it, which sounds really stupid because I wanted to get back out there. And ultimately, they're scoring you runs. Like, just knock it off. Because when you get into a rhythm, you want to stay in that rhythm. But clearly, Knight hasn't lost that.
2-1 to Zach Taylor. Late. Katzenmeyer anticipating maybe some pain there?
Yeah,
what happened?
There was a little
sort of a groan
pre-contact angst right there. He thought he was going to wear one on that two-seamer, but Zach Taylor saved him with a foul ball.
Speeds up his bat up now. Watch him go to that slider.
Yep.
Asking if it was up, confirmed.
That's always such a slippery slope because the next one seems to come in at that same eye level, but it's like a hair lower, and you get called strike, and you're like, well, you just said that was up. Yeah, but it was a little lower than that. That's a slippery slope.
Just a little bit low.
Exactly. Going to get it, Gates. Diving catch. Oh, what a play by Jared Gates at first base for the out. I didn't think he had a chance to get it, and he went after it like a wide receiver in the corner of the end zone.
It's all out. It's College World Series time, and this is a way that Gates has played the entire season, keeps track of it, doesn't even worry about how much room he has left, and goes into that warning track area laid out completely. Beautifully done right there.
Yeah, you can slap an SC top 10 nominee on that one, and we should see that one plenty more tonight. For Jared Gates, Dave Van Horn went to him in the SEC tournament, and he looked him in the eye and said, here's the deal. You are my best defensive first baseman. You are going to play every day. Forget about worrying about checking the lineup card every day. You are going to play. Showed you why he's his best defensive first baseman right there.
Blaine Knight goes over, gives him a little high five, and Gates is back to first. Terrific play by Jared Gates. The umpires appear as if they are going to review this one. And this one is a reviewable play. Any catch or no catch in the outfield or foul territory is reviewable. One of the 6 reviewable plays.
Yeah, no doubt he caught this one. Even on the landing, stuck it.
Stayed in his glove the whole time.
It was his left knee that he was rubbing after that catch. He takes the glove out now. Old NFL rules, if the ball is used to help get yourself up, that's not a touchdown. Remember, you got to come up with the ball. Here, took the ball out of his glove, stuck it on the ground. It clearly was a catch, and the umpires will come back with their decision on this. And the call stands. He's out. So a web gem for Jared Gates, a Sports Center top 10 play. Did you guys, when that ball went up and he chased, did you think he was going to get to it?
No.
I didn't either.
Not on first break. Eddie, did you have him there?
Oh, he had a good beat on it. That's a good thing, but no chance. And he really caught up, made up some ground.
Carl, you were talking about the left knee of Jared Gates. He was rubbing it a little bit. The athletic trainer for Arkansas just told me they're saying it's a bruised left knee right now. They expect him to stay in the game.
Quick diagnosis. Thank you, Laura. Wow.
Bam. Right.
It's bruised. You're good. He keeps rubbing it. Strike one to Stephen Kwan, leadoff hitter, 0 for 2 tonight. At the knee, strike 2, and Knight working quickly. Kwan serves it into left field, and a good job by Stephen Kwan. Behind 0-2, keep the inning alive by sending it into left field.
It's big right there. One, it keeps the inning alive too, but it gets you to the heart of this order. Grenier, Madrigal, Larnach, Rutschman to follow. And Oregon State has done plenty of damage with 2 outs in this tournament.
Caden Grenier comes up. There is another rule within the rule book that is the rule that perhaps was being quoted by Chris Koski at second base. It's Rule 8, Section 4. We'll get it to you after the first pitch, assuming an out isn't made. But check out Rule 8, Section 4 and a forced play slide rule as we revisit that interference call in the 4th inning, which changed this game. Grenier squares ball 1. So under Rule 8, Section 4, letter C, actions by a runner illegal and interference shall be called if the runner slides or runs out of the baseline in the direction of the fielder and alters the play of the fielder with or without contact. I'm not giving Chris Koski a reason for his explanation, but there is a rule which tends to be a little bit more in line with what he was saying. There was no contact, that's for sure, but he did perhaps alter the play of the fielder with or without contact. Grenier into right. Foul ball by about half an inch. Foul ball, says the right field umpire Barry Chambers.
And Barry Chambers was positioned perfectly on this. Watch him rotate. Oh, this ball slices. Foul. Gets in perfect position right here. Reads it. Doesn't hesitate whatsoever.
Ooh, wow, is that close? They're going to talk about this one,
that
too.
One's going to get looked at again.
Yeah. This one was close.
Remember, these umpires are not used to being out there. Usually 4 umpires used.
I don't know. I kind of think that's a fair ball, boys. I think that's a fair ball. A little white grass gets buried underneath that baseball. Now the question becomes, what do you do with Stephen Kwan, the base runner, if it's ruled a fair ball? Here's a better look at it. You're looking for indisputable video evidence.
Looks like it's on the line.
It does look like it.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're wondering about chalk, that's paint actually on the grass. So
that's as close as you can have it.
Yeah.
I mean, when we roll it back, stop it, take a look at it 2 or 3 times, Barry Chambers is right on top of it. In a spot like this, and I know it is paint, but every once in a while you see a little bit of grass fly up that is painted, and then you know that it hit the paint.
So here's the applicable rule. If this is overturned and changed and called fair and results in decisions on the placement of the base runners, the crew chief has to use his best judgment to determine their locations as if it had been made correctly, with the exception of the placement prescribed by rule on a catch or no catch. So this is a fascinating one here because Kwan has bad hamstrings, or a bad left hamstring. So does Kwan, in your opinion, get to third base if it's overturned? So you're going to put him at first and third?
Absolutely.
You would put him where, first and third?
Yeah. Watch.
Put him at second and third.
No. I put him at third. Well, second and third is a good argument.
Second and third is a good argument.
Quan's absolutely at third. So I mean I think that's undeniable given where he was. He's already turning around.
Yeah, he would get to third.
And to Eddie's point, I mean, where Cole was when you see it, he was playing just to make sure it didn't go down in the corner.
Right.
So where he was, based on that ball hitting up in front, because the foul territory fence goes and kind of cuts back towards the line.
Kwan with a good hamstring, he scores on that.
I agree. I don't think there's any way you can put him there.
Right.
I think you put him at third. Then the decision is, where does Grenier go? And I would agree with you. Based on where Cole was, I think Grenier goes to second.
I think they'll play it safe that way. And
all that being said, I'm not 100% sure it's fair.
Well, I think it's taken this long because they might be deciphering where do the runners go.
On a game in which right now Oregon State feels a wee bit slighted on that interference call. They're trying to figure out where to place the runners. So the call on the field is a foul ball. If they're trying to figure out where to place the runners, then they've already made the decision that it's a fair ball.
If you move it forward, you'll see Cole come into the picture after it bounces.
The ball bounces towards where he is. That's a close one. That's a good debate. Does he go to second or first?
I think he goes to second, Raph.
Okay.
I really do. If Cole's breaking in on that, if he sees that ball's going to hit before it goes down in the corner, then I think it's a different decision. But with the depth that he was in that right field corner, I don't think there's any way that he throws Grenier out at second base.
Hey, is that line straight? All right, well, here comes the crew chief. Fair ball. You can read it. We're going to put you to third.
I think they're going to put Grenier at first.
At first base. First and third is what they're going to do.
They're going to put Grenier at first base.
Yeah.
Grenier was sort of surprised by that. And now Pat Casey will ask, how about second? So by rule, umpires are supposed to use the decision on where to place the runners using a quote-unquote conservative philosophy. And again, this is another one of those debatable plays for sure. No question about it.
It's clearly conservative to put it in first.
Very conservative.
That would be accurate. You have to think that Pat Casey's argument, Quan needs to be at third. There's no chance that you could score Quan on a play like that. You have to think that Pat Casey's argument was, did you see where the right fielder was? Because ultimately that has to figure into this.
Right now, Pat Casey's feeling as if the scales of justice have tipped decidedly against them. With the interference call, perhaps a second and third. Now you get a force play up the middle on a ground ball. There are 2 down. You do have one of the best contact hitters in the country at the plate in Nick Madrigal. And this is a big spot for him with 2 down. Really, for Oregon State, take advantage of this and get a run, if not more than one. Two-seam fastball down at 91 miles an hour from what we just saw at 95.
And that's okay because that's the two-seamer. 91. 95 was the four-seamer, which he likes to elevate.
Madrigal sitting on a slider. Based on who's out there, based on the situation, you know that Knight likes to go to that slider. Madrigal go up and just sit there. When he's sitting on something, he doesn't miss it much.
Right at the second baseman. He hit it on a line, and it's in the glove of Carson Shaddy. Every single thing in the last hour has gone the way of the Razorbacks. They lead it 4-1. We're through 5. Game 1 of the College World Series. Welcome back. Key plays. This baseball game has become a little bit unhinged. An interference call here. Adley Rutschman. He didn't peel off to right. He interfered with the second baseman. Then there was this call. Fair foul, and where the runners go.
That's what took so long is the placement of the runners, Pat. Okay. By rule, we go with a conservative placement of runners.
So it's not a rule, it's your decision?
No, that's what the replay committee had.
The replay committee doesn't think that he's going to get the second base.
That's why they looked at it so many times. That's what took us so long, the placement of runners.
So he hits it.
So Pat Casey's arguing it should probably be runner on second and third.
At the end of the day, doesn't matter.
In the end, the line out doesn't, but still, the conservative part allows the umpires, to make the decision to err on the side of caution, if you will. You go to first base. Tough play. Why'd we do away with chalk down the outfield lines? It's such a simpler decision. You see it fly. And on the dirt, you would see it probably kick up. On the grass, you don't.
Nasty.
Really big out with Madrigal because you had, of course, Larnach and Rutschman coming up. And he hit that ball right on the nose, right at Carson Shaddy.
Guys, and that fifth inning started off with Carson Shaddy with a walk. Been very patient today, 2 walks so far this evening. The senior's seen the ball very well.
Not there. Chamberlain throws a wicked slider, and Rutschman throws him out at first. Third strikeout, 8th of the game.
Guys, one thing worth pointing out, after the interference call happened, Nick Madrigal was in the Oregon State dugout, and he saw the body language of everyone in there being very frustrated, disappointed. He went up and down the dugout saying, "We will not let this affect us. We will not let this affect us." Now, of course, things unraveled after that, but it's just worth reminding everyone that their whole thing this year was unfinished business. You can tell just the intensity in trying to tell everyone, don't let this be in your head.
That's the guy to do it. I mean, it just seems like whenever there's a discussion that needs to happen on the field, Madrigal is the one that drives it. He really acts as a coach standing at second base and clearly does the exact same thing when he's in the dugout.
First pitch called a ball, Jared Gates. I think the other thing that we're reminded of, though, is just how difficult it is to navigate through Quan, Grenier, Madrigal, Larnach, and Rutschman. That those 5 guys make it so hard for pitchers that the idea that a 3-run lead is insurmountable with Oregon State, they were really, it felt they were really close there. Madrigal puts that about 10 feet higher. That's an RBI. Then you get Larnick and Rutschman coming up, and it's a whole different ball game.
It's the beauty of this game. The mental grind of it also.
And they do dominate, as that graphic shows you, after the 6th inning. The old adage of getting into the other team's bullpen, it actually still applies at the collegiate level. May not work at the major league level with those horses that come out and throw 104, but at the collegiate level, you get rid of the starter, you're generally going to be better off. Gates looking for a walk, now 3-2, and you wonder how his left knee is doing. Made one of the great catches at the College World Series here in 2018. In fact, 2 of the great catches at the World Series came from Gates and Eric Cole in right field. Fastball at 91. Gates gone. 2nd out. 4th strikeout for Chamberlain since he's come in.
We thought there was no way he could make this catch from where he was, but he never gave up on it. Tracked it the entire way. Laid out completely. What better place to do it than here in Omaha?
See Knight continuing to stay loose. And Grant Cook comes up. 4 straight strikeouts for Chamberlain. Heimlich started, was great. He gave up 1 hit until the 5th inning, and then it unraveled. That misses in 2-0. And there's Luke Heimlich. And Chamberlain loses the strike zone a little bit. 3-0. Christian Chamberlain's last 9 appearances have been outstanding. Undoing the shin guard again. I think that's the 2nd time he's been caught this week undoing shin guard. Pitch is close to being down. Cook had a big single and an RBI in that 4-run 5th. That's ball 4. Now you can take the shin guards off.
The College World Series Finals, Oregon State versus Arkansas, Game 2, tomorrow at 7 on ESPN.
Hope you join us for that. Whoever wins tonight's got a chance to walk away with the 2018 College World Series Championship. Tomorrow night, if we do have a Game 3, it'll be Thursday, and it'll be on at 6:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Central on ESPN2. Game 3 has been moved up a half hour, and it'll be on ESPN2. 9-hitter Jax Biggers. Foul ball. Just trying to think, fellas, if in fact the calls, which have clearly gone the way of Arkansas, if this crowd were actually the size of the Arkansas crowd but was the Oregon crowd, or the calls had gone against the Arkansas side, I think it'd be a little different in this building.
Sound a little different. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Runner going, and Rutschman will not make a play. He blocked it, but it got away from him by about 20 feet. And now Cook goes into scoring position. Game 1, College World Series, TD Ameritrade Park in Omaha, Nebraska. Opened up in 2011. Had been played for so long at Rosenblatt Stadium. Shifted here. The game shifted, became much more of a defensive, low-scoring game. You got 2 big offenses in this final.
2-1.
Both teams loaded with future major leaguers. A handful of first-round draft picks on the field for Oregon State. Blaine Knight win the third round of the Orioles. And Arkansas has got a bunch of future first-round picks. What do you see, Kyle?
Looks like he's trying to miss bats with every pitch. The stuff obviously is good. I mean, 4 strikeouts since Chamberlain's come into the ball game, and he entered in a really tough spot, left with the bases loaded. Looks like he's just trying to be a little bit too fine in this at bat. And the previous one to Grant Cook.
Good one. 3-2.
Full count, 3-2.
31st year of coaching overall for Pat Casey, 24th at Oregon State. I wonder if he'll be asked after the game, have you ever seen anything like that 4th and 5th inning, and what his answer will be. He's ever seen that sort of the interference, the hit batters, the call down the right field line.
Yeah. That's the beauty of this game, though.
You seem to see something you never have about every time.
You know who says that?
Kirchen?
Our friend Tim Kirchen.
That's a knee slapper.
He'll be on the call later tonight. Cubs and Dodgers as we're through here. We'll continue with the baseball on ESPN. David Ross as well. 3-2. Did he?
Go, Joe.
No. And a walk issued to Jack Spiggers. Think about it. Chamberlain came in. Arkansas hasn't actually put the ball in play against him. There's Schwarbs. Kyle Schwarber was here with Indiana. Of course, Indiana's head coach just moved on to take over in Mississippi State. Cubs and Dodgers next on ESPN. David Ross, the former teammate of Kyle Schwarber, and of course the catcher for a couple of different teams with John Lester, who'll be on the mound. So some really probably unique insight into Lester on the mound from David Ross in the booth. Five walks, 2 hit batters. There was an error against Madrigal. And now Eric Cole. He was one of the hit by pitch batters in the 5th. Two 2-0 for the freshman, Christian Chamberlain. (17 appearances on the season for Chamberlain, and he has thrown 25 pitches this inning, an ERA of 3.77. 14 more strikeouts than walks. Dangerous spot with Cole, the leadoff hitter, up at a 2-0 count. 3-0. There is activity in that Oregon State bullpen.
It looks like Dylan Pierce up and throwing the junior right-hander.
It's not like he's missing in one spot either. He's missed up, he's missed in, he's missed away.
That's when there's always concern, because it may not be a one-pitch mechanical adjustment.
Got Martin on deck. Green light. 3-0 or take? Well, you're taking there anyway. And another walk, and maybe the final batter for Chamberlain. Pat Casey is starting to make his way towards the mound. And the bases loaded one more time. He struck out 4 straight, and then he has now issued 3 consecutive walks.
Chamberlain comes in a 1-0 count, throws 3 balls. He walks Heston Kjerstad, then 4 straight strikeouts. Now 3 straight walks. And since Chamberlain's come in the ballgame, not one ball's been put in play. When the stuff's in the zone, clearly it's very good. The challenge right now is getting that stuff in the zone.
haven't been following the College World Series. Perhaps the most effective reliever, and they're going to leave him in, has been Brandon Eisert. Question becomes, do you save Eisert for tomorrow night? Or if you eventually take the lead in this game, do you go to somebody like Eisert, who's been so great? Interesting here to leave Chamberlain in with the bases loaded, facing Casey Martin. There's Brandon Eisert, number 37. You like it, Kyle, leaving him in?
I do right now, yeah.
Strike one. You like it, Eddie?
It's a big call. Big call right there with a curveball. Now that he's 0-1, it'll change it all up for him.
You'd leave
but
him in?
A gutsy play. The thing is, Martin hasn't looked good against the lefties here. He's looked great against righties so far in the College World Series. Maybe the reverse splits are what they're going with.
Third base, Grant Cook. Second base, Jax Biggers. First base, Eric Cole. And at the plate, Casey Martin. 2 strikeouts, reached on an error, got an RBI.
That's Rutschman. He has to be able to block. Pitch in the dirt. Going fastball away, but Martin has struck out twice. And I know it wasn't Chamberlain on the mound. It was Heimlich. We threw him slider down. Time for that big curveball in the dirt. See if he can get the chase.
31st pitch of the inning, and it would be huge for Oregon State to keep this at 3. High, 2-2. Larnach and Rutschman due up in the bottom of the 6th for Oregon State.
Throw a breaking ball here. It's the only pitch so far he's been able to command well this inning.
Reached out to the shortstop. Flipped to second for the force, and that'll do it.
Now,
good pitch. You got Martin to chase. It's only a 3-run deficit. The best hitters for Oregon State are coming up.
I didn't even get a chance to talk.
Well, Mississippi State and their rally bananas have left the building. This game's been a little bananas. We got game 2 tomorrow night, 7 Eastern time on ESPN. And as I mentioned, game 3, the if necessary game, will be played Thursday at 6:30 Eastern time. It could be seen on ESPN2. Game 1 was supposed to be played last night, but rain postponed it and moved everything to today. Wayne Knight back on the mound. He has thrown 78 pitches. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Well, one thing to look back on, depending how this game turns out, Arkansas has left a whole boatload of base runners on the last 2 innings. A whole bunch of base runners. Last 2 innings left them loaded.
4 runs on 2 hits, both singles, 5 walks, 2 hit batsmen, and left the bases loaded both innings.
So far, the key for Arkansas, you have to look at the bottom 2 in the lineup. Grant Cook and Jax Biggers, they've been able to get on base 5 out of the 6 times they've had plate appearances. Keep that up, put the pressure on Oregon State. With this guy on the mound, a guy that knows how to win big games.
Slider to start things off with to Trevor Larnach. He's got 2 doubles. One of them was a rip down the right field line. The other one was a pop up to left when the sun was out. And Heston Kjerstad never saw it. Bounced on the warning track and over the wall. Right now, it'd probably be an easy pop out. Right to the glove and a tough pitch. Larnach outstanding on inside fastballs. We've seen him turn a handful of those around. That pitch was right to the glove and now ahead 0-2. A lot of the plate. First baseman was off the bag. Now he retreats to it, and Larnach for the first time tonight is retired. Oregon State's been here a bunch. They've also won 2 College World Series titles. Arkansas has never won the College World Series crown. One of the great track and field colleges. They win national championships in that all the time. They're seeking their first title in their 9th trip here to Omaha. Barrett Losky is starting to loosen in the Arkansas pen. He's the righty. This is Adley Rutschman. One of his memories of the College World Series is going to be that interference play in which he was called running towards second base, tried to duck out of the way, and instead got in the way of the infielder and was called for interference. It was a game-altering play. Sky high on the infield. Biggers, the shortstop, calls for it, backpedals, and makes the play. So Larnach and Rutschman retired here in the 6th.
Pitch count still relatively low for Blaine Knight. 83 pitches with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. And even though Losky was up and throwing just a minute ago, you have to think if you're Dave Van Horn, you want to ride Blaine Knight as far as you can. 3-game series to win this one. You know you're going to need that bullpen. We would expect Casey Murphy, the left-hander, to go tomorrow.
That is Superman right there.
Yeah, Jack Deasing on the left.
President of the College World Series. A terrific and gracious host to all of us at ESPN every time we come to Omaha. Holly and Karen Griego also in the crowd tonight. Always been kind enough to treat us to some golf out at Oak Hills. Boy, that place is in ridiculous condition. And you're passing time on days where games are rained out or you're having an off day. It's a good man to hang with.
Yeah, he is.
Part of most of the people in Omaha, how invested they are in the College World Series experience. Here's Ty Malone, 2-0. He got jammed, and that is a souvenir.
Nice catch also in the stands.
Three and one. If Arkansas hangs on, do more people from Fayetteville drive up?
Sure.
Anybody left?
Absolutely. You can't fit too many more in here. But yeah, I don't think too many are going home.
3-1 from Knight, who hasn't issued a walk tonight. 3-2.
Well, I can tell you this, the ones that did not leave, they're at Baum Stadium right now also watching the game.
A sea of cardinal red, the color of the Arkansas jerseys, t-shirts. Three-two. Staying alive, fouled it off.
Think about the players that are making an impact at the major league level that are former Razorback. Andrew Benintendi, Dallas Keuchel, Brian Anderson having a great year this year for the Marlins also.
Of course, Oregon State, you think about Jacoby Ellsbury, Mark McLemore, Darwin Barney, and of course Michael Conforto, who we mentioned tonight. That's high, ball 4, and Knight's first walk. Knight went in the 3rd round of the Orioles, the 87th selection overall, but he has really done well against those drafted ahead of him. Casey Mize went 1st overall. He beat him. Brady Singer went to the Royals 18th. Ryan Rollison, Jackson Kowar, another pick of the Royals at 33rd. He beat them too, and this was before the draft. Pitches with a little bit like that. That's something Blaine Knight can hold on to the rest of his life.
Oh, without a doubt. We talked about it the other day. We were fishing, and I said, you beat Mize, you beat Singer, you beat Kowar, you beat some of the best guys in the game. Do you think about it any differently? He said, I know in those games we have a really good offense, but we're probably not going to score that many runs just because the guy on the other side is really good. So he said, I get that it's not me against him, but I do realize that the margin for error is smaller in those games.
High strike. Gretler frustrated by that.
And this is one of those games too. Going into this, this didn't feel like it was going to be 9-8.
Jack Anderson, who has played a bunch in the outfield, especially when Quan was hurt, number 29, he has come out on deck. Nope, backup slider doesn't find the strike zone. Count goes 1-1. 92 pitches now. Roski continues to throw out there. Knight's body language suggests that maybe he's getting a little bit tired.
Gretler reaches here. I think you go get him. There just looks like there's some labor right now.
Yep.
And you can really tell when a guy's throwing a fastball to the glove side. That's a hard pitch to throw. Mechanically, everything has to be over your front foot. You really have to finish through it. Blaine Knight was trying to throw that pitch there and was guiding it there. The velocity's still there, but it just has the look of him feeling like he has to do a little bit more right now. Wes Johnson on the phone, and that may have been the discussion right there to the bullpen. You get one guy on, it's Lowski's game.
And you bring the tying run to the plate if, in fact, you do get this guy on. There's Lowski out there.
Guy with a high spin rate. It's a lot of swings and misses.
Six strikeouts in 6 innings.
Slider right here.
Yes.
Tried to sneak a fastball by Gretler right there. He got just a piece of it to stay alive.
It's been pretty much his MO all game. You get that swing, that foul ball, next pitch usually goes down and away. One fastball. That was a good swing too.
93 miles an hour, 96 pitches for Blaine Knight. Knight has not lost a game all season long. 13-0.
All right, here we go. 2-2.
School's out. And before summer officially kicks in for these two teams and their fan bases, College World Series to decide. Good battle from Gretler here against Knight. On the ground to third, backing up and throwing to second for the force. Martin finds Shaddy. No. And it may be the end of the night for Blaine Knight. He walks off leading by 3. 3, 4, 5 due up for Arkansas when we come back to TD Ameritrade.
don't like to think about it. I mean, I love this university. I always have. And, I owe them a lot. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at. They hadn't taken a chance on me, I wouldn't be here. It's going to kind of come full circle. Like I said, I'll be happy, but I'm also going to be upset a little bit because I love this place.
Lots of hugs from Blaine Knight as he just walked off the mound. We'll see if he's done. It certainly appears that's the case. And Dave Van Horn, before this game, said, look, we would not be here without Blaine Knight. He deserves so much credit for his entire career at Arkansas, but especially this year. And he said it's going to be an emotional night. What Blaine has brought to this team and this program cannot be truly put into words. He said, I just hope for Blaine and his family that he has a great outing and that he can go out on a high note, specifically a winning note.
Thanks, Laura. So Knight likely now in a position to sit and watch as Heston Kjerstad looks at ball one. Christian Chamberlain continues to throw for Oregon State.
He's an interesting kid because he's so even keel away from the field, and there's a high level of compete when he's out there. He's not a yeller, he's not a throw glove guy, but obviously an elite competitor given what he's done, and this stuff is very good. To hear Dave Van Horn and Wes Johnson talk about Blaine Knight, I mean, it's almost like they're talking about their kid. There's a high level of respect, appreciation for what he's been able to do the last few years. He's been a really good one.
He knows how to win. Forget about all the home runs that he's given up this season. Most of them, 16 out of the 18, have been
15 out of the 18 solo homers.
Solo homers. He knows how to pitch according to the score of the game.
Kjerstad gone. He has not looked good the last couple of nights. He strikes out for the second time tonight. So we're in the seventh. Oregon State has got a really good record. Think about it. They are 10-8-1 when they trail after 6 innings. As you look at Jack Anderson, who's gone on to play left. 10-8-1 might not sound great. The rest of this field is 29 and 124.
Wow.
They come back and they have the bats to do it. Strike one to Bonfield as he bats for the 4th time. 2 groundouts to short, and then he struck out in the 5th. All 4 runs for Arkansas come from the 6, 7, 8, 9 guys. This one is on the ground. Good charge over there by Michael Gretler, and he throws to first. ESPN2, that's where the Cubs and Dodgers, John Lester, Stripling will start tonight. ESPN2. About 8 minutes from now, they will start on ESPN2, and as soon as we were concluded here, they will be moved over to ESPN. So College World Series action here, Major League Baseball action, ESPN2 in about 7 minutes. Dominic Fletcher, right field. Larnach going back at the wall, can't get it. He slams into the wall. Fletcher to second, and he's in there with a double.
It's a pretty swing. Comes into this College World Series already with 8 hits. This one stays up. Swings is level and through the zone, balanced once he makes contact. And Larnach right here gives it all he has, but Fletcher ends up at second base with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning.
Team high 16th double of the season for Dominic Fletcher. So after 2 fairly quick outs, Carson Shaddy comes to the plate. Huge numbers for Fletcher at the CWS.
Pitching very carefully. Left-handed hitter Jared Gates, 1 for 3, is on deck. Carson Shaddy saw what he did in the Super Regionals, ended up being the MVP of that Supers against South Carolina.
Same pitch, a little late again at 92. He fouled it off, and it's 0-2. Been an up-and-down night for Christian Chamberlain. Walked a career-high 4. He's also now tied his career high with 5 strikeouts. 9 of the 10 he has faced have not put the ball in play. On the corner, he gets the call. Strike 3. Shaddy retired. Bottom of the 7th. 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Beavers, who tend to bounce late in games. Welcome back, everyone. The NCAA College World Series is presented by Capital One. Game 1, best of 3. This year, SEC, Arkansas, Pac-12, Oregon State. Lane Knight out of the game. 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned, 6 Ks and a walk, 97 pitches. He is 13-0 on the season. Got a chance to pick up win number 14 here at the World Series in Game 1. Now Barrett Losky, the junior out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, who has just been filthy once the NCAA tournament started. The Yankees picked him in the 17th round. 25 appearances, a 2.86 ERA, 64 strikeouts, 27 walks.
You see a lot of fastballs from Losky too. So far in this College World Series, 2 appearances against Texas and Texas Tech. Went 4 2/3 innings, walked 1, struck out 7, did not give up a run.
Now, Eddie, we got all these numbers. This is Oregon State's time. They have scored half of their College World Series runs in the 7th inning or later. 24 of the 48 have come in the 7th inning or later. And they have already overcome 2 3-run deficits to win at this year's College World Series. All that mean anything tonight?
Absolutely not. For Arkansas, they believe in what they have in the bullpen with Losky coming in right now. They believe this is a good matchup, and the reason being is you got 8, 9 coming up. These are 2 important outs to get. Start off this inning. Oregon State, on the other hand, can't pull that magic off every time.
Novak didn't look good on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. But there is a great awareness, right? I should say Anderson, who's in there for the left fielder Novak. There is an awareness in Oregon State.
There is an awareness. But this is the matchup you want right here. When you got Anderson at the plate, you end up hitting Losky, and then after that you got Cronin that can come in for the 9th inning. They believe in their relief corps.
Good pitch, called strike 2. Anderson came on as a defensive replacement.
0-2.
In left field for Novak. This was the original lineup they had yesterday for Game 1 before it was rained out, and then Novak got the nod today. Arkansas will counter all those numbers by saying we are 40-2 when we lead after 6. Good pitch, a little wrinkle in that one.
So even though the fastball isn't elevated, 3 pitches right there from Losky, all are strikes, all are fastballs. Watch where the swing is. And this is the one thing you're going to see with a high spin rate fastball. Even when it's down in the zone, it's still holding plane a lot longer, and that swing goes directly underneath it right there from Jack Anderson. That's what Losky's going to do to you consistently, and he wants to ride it up in the zone, but even there got to swing right underneath the fastball.
Looked like it had a little cut to it.
Yeah, and a little jump right when it gets to home plate.
Now, is that an optical illusion? Is it possible that a baseball picks up speed?
Yeah. Can I retract that?
Well, everybody says it. Late life. Pull back.
Yep.
What's real is the spin rate, and that just creates that illusion. If you look at the release point that he has, it's low. Reminds you a lot of Craig Kimbrell at the major league level, where you see a lot of swings and misses underneath that baseball. It seems when you're at the plate that that ball's just rising. It's just holding the plane.
Great look from behind home. Just below the knees, called the ball 2-1 to Zach Taylor. Then you go back to the top of the order. Oregon State's going to have at least one real good chance to break through against Arkansas with Quan and the guys that follow him. That's a fair ball down the line, bounces off the wall. May have a play here at second base. Here's the throw, and he is out. That ball took a great hop to Kjerstad, and you could see it develop on that throw to deny Taylor of a double.
Give a lot of credit to Kjerstad right here. The ball's hit solidly, but he reads it well, takes a gamble, and right where it ricochets, plays it perfectly, and all the repetition in infield practice. All those drills every day, perfectly thrown right there. You have to know the score. You have to be aware of what's going on. And right there, have to be able to stay at first base on a 4-1 game. Beautifully played.
How about the route at the end, okay? The route at the end, all of his momentum was taking him directly to second base. And it's rare on what a lot of times when momentum is going to take you towards the line. Watch the route, because it comes off like that. He's able to take his momentum into second base. The minute that he picks that ball up, everything is moving right into the throw and in line.
Stephen Kwan, the leadoff hitter, behind 0-1. 0-2. Big out. And the way that bounced off and the way that Kjerstad played it with a terrific throw.
Yes.
Carson Shaddy didn't bounce the throw.
You're not going to do it offensively. You do it on defense.
That's a good point.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Lowski 95 up in the zone to get Kwan. Take one more look at the great play by Heston Kjerstad.
Oh, get it, freshman. He scuffled at the plate, but he's not scuffling out in left field today. A BB to Carson Shaddy at second base. Erases extra bases for Zach Taylor. Ends up a 1-2-3 7th for Arkansas.
All right, check it out. You got TD Ameritrade here, and also you got Dodger Stadium, Wrigley Field, Chicago Cubs. They're underway, ESPN2. So we got double barrel baseball. John Lester and the Cubs taking on the Dodgers. LA, since Justin Turner has come back, have been on fire. They're right back in that National League West playoff picture. Cubs stumbling a little bit here lately. Arkansas, Oregon State, top of the 8th inning, game 1 of the College World Series. Christian Chamberlain stays on. So in a way, you know, Pat Casey has saved a lot of his bullpen bullets by letting Chamberlain go. Bottom of the 8th, the Thunder in that Oregon State lineup will get another chance. 2, 3, 4 due up.
When that's in the zone, it's really good.
It really is. Good breaking ball.
Oregon State coaching staff talks about Chamberlain. I mean, this is a guy that's probably going to be on the weekend next year. They're going to push him into a starting role. The stuff is better than the size. So when you see him go out there, you don't think the fastball is going to be low 90s. He's really competed, grown up over the course of the year.
91 and goodbye Gates. So for Oregon State, you're looking at Christian Chamberlain and Abel, and that's your weekend. That's your Friday, Saturday.
That's all right. Freshman Abel was incredible the other night. There's just a 4-seam fastball. Great shot of the grip right there back behind him.
Kevin Abel, we saw him walking around Old Market with his family. He looked like he was probably in 9th grade.
Really?
My goodness.
Well, that arm doesn't look like a 9th grade arm.
No. You got a baby face. And there he is. That one's going to go to the seats down the third baseline. So a lot of these big time baseball programs like football, Kyle, they don't rebuild. They just kind of keep reloading, huh?
Yeah, and I think you can say it for both of these clubs.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is both of them missed the postseason 2 years ago. And so it was a quick turn to get back to this point. A lot of it is the game has a lot of parity right now, and it's not 20-25 years ago to where it's always the same clubs in. But yes, they have turned into two of the finest programs in the country.
One and two.
I'm looking Chamberlain. That's been the MO for Oregon State tonight. 62nd pitch for the reliever. Misses wide. Now 3-2 after going up 0-2.
Look out, 3-2. There it is.
Press box at TD Ameritrade. Is it far enough back? You never seem to get a foul ball up here. They're very rare.
You want to make a play up here?
Which is very rare.
How about we keep it that way?
You're not ready?
No. I'm okay.
Eddie in the glove?
No. We're good.
2 outs, 2 strikeouts.
Hey guys, look at the right hand of Adley Rutschman, the Oregon State catcher. It's got tape on it now. That's, of course, the hand that he uses to get the signs to his pitcher, Chamberlain. Chamberlain was having a hard time seeing some of that. They even put some orange tape on the tips of the fingers there, hoping that he can pick up what Rutschman's trying to call a little bit easier right there.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll use nail polish. Major league catchers who do that.
Put white out also on the fingers.
Oh.
Keep them tucked in. Make sure none of the coaches on either side of the baseline see it.
Wow.
Foul off Bigger's foot. Takes a step to make sure he's okay. The shortstop who bats 9.
Two different tones working right here.
Something out of a Halloween costume. Hot! 1-2. And Biggers really destroyed that finger trying to lay a bunt down. He has since really recovered, but he became a much better hitter once he put that big bandage on. He's gone. Good inning for Chamberlain. He picks up his 8th strikeout in relief. Bottom of the 8th, Grenier, Madrigal, Larnach, and Rutschman. Stay tuned for that.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet?
Take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance and say hello to Blaine Knight, who was outstanding tonight for Arkansas. Came in 13-0 over the course of the season, the true ace of this Arkansas club. And when he got into trouble, got himself out of it a few different times for Knight. Over the course of this one, 6 strikeouts and hugs afterwards in what could be his last performance at the collegiate level. A 3rd-round draft pick of the Baltimore Orioles this year. But Knight was outstanding again, has put Arkansas in a great spot.
He sure did, and this is the biggest inning now for Oregon State. Down 3, they have their 2, 3, 4 hitters due up.
It feels like if Oregon State's going to come back in this ball game, they got to do it right here.
And it's the 8th inning, the big inning that so far for pretty much any team in the College World Series.
This has been the action inning for sure. Aaron Losky came on last inning. He struck out 2. And gets the call, strike 1 there. Carson Chamberlain struck out 9. And misspoke when we went to break with 8. He had struck out 9. Christian Chamberlain, and now you see Cronin warming up in that Arkansas bullpen. Two and one, leadoff hitter, huge in this inning. If he can get aboard for the big boys. Madrigal, his last time up, hit a shot with 2 men on, a line out right to second baseman Carson Shaddy. Lays down a bunt. Lowski, bare hands to first. Got him! Good play off the mound by Lowski to retire Grenier. Perhaps he pulls that down the line a little bit more. He's on.
Shows some athleticism there. Decides to bare-hand it, and that right there was the key. Watch how he plants both feet also. Doesn't rush the throw whatsoever. Sees it into the hand and makes a perfect throw to first base.
Good point, too. Sets that right foot, so then doesn't have to reset after he makes the play. The right foot's already set, can push off of it to make that throw. That's well done.
You like the bunt there in a 2-1 count?
I don't mind it, but what I do like is if it was, you have to think foul ball base hit, a little bit more down the line.
Yep. Here's Madrigal. He is the 4th pick in this year's draft to the White Sox. That is a strike, even though it was dropped. I was going to say that looked like a strike, and I didn't hear the call because the ball was dropped by Grant Cook, but a strike one to Nick Madrigal. Center field, Fletcher, and just like that, 2 down. Hey, tonight on SportsCenter after the Cubs and Dodgers, Stan and Neil, they'll update you on all the action for Major League Baseball. J.D. Martinez hit his 24th tonight. The Yankees had a big lead early. NBA free agency news, the moves the 76ers need to do to land LeBron. Lisa Leslie, the Hall of Famer's in the studio tonight. SportsCenter from L.A. after Major League Baseball on ESPN. Elevated fastball, and Madrigal flies out to center.
So far, the key to success for the Arkansas Razorbacks is being able to keep 1, 2, 3 hitters off the bases. 2 for 12 this evening in this game. You keep those guys off, with the big boys coming up, not able to drive them in. Well executed plan so far by both Knight and Lowski.
Think about the next level. Remind you, the Cubs and Dodgers, so many of these swing planes now have launch angles, and the transition by major league relievers has been to, again, throw the ball up in the zone as opposed to down in the zone. And Lowski's doing a good job of elevating. He takes something off there to change up in there at 80.
That's a good point. And I tell you, Wes Johnson's a pitching coach for Arkansas, and he's one of the main reasons why you see some of these approaches, particularly with Barrett Lowski. He's a big data guy, and with all of his guys tries to figure out what the stuff says they should be. Maybe not what you think you are, but what the stuff says you should be. For Lowski, the stuff says you should be that high percentage fastball guy, ideally pitching up in the zone. And it's brought him a lot of success.
That guy just caught the ball. This is the second foul ball he's caught barehanded. Second one. Look at the face. Look at the reaction.
He's getting a lot of love.
That's 2.
He's in the right place to get a lot of love.
Have a night.
I'm not sure if they're standing for him or the fact that they are a strike away from getting out of the 8th inning.
See, his wife has the other ball in her left hand.
I did.
1-2 on the way to Trevor Larnach. Glove up high. That's where it goes, and he's gone at 93.
We talked elevated fastball with Lowski, and this is exactly where he wants to throw it. Larnach can't hold up. That fastball holds plane. Larnach swings underneath it, and Arkansas is 3 outs away from a Game 1 win in the finals.
Now tonight's game track brought to you by Buick. Arkansas has been flat out opportunistic, and their pitching has been very, very good. Blaine Knight, 6 innings and earned run 6 Ks. We've seen Lowski come in. They've only got 4 hits in this one. Oregon State makes another error. And we have ourselves a 3-run game heading to the top of the 9th inning. Chamberlain has been a bullpen saver for Pat Casey and Oregon State. And you think about tomorrow night already and the arms you'll be able to use. Remember, Oregon State is played 4 elimination games. They've won them all.
I'll tell you the other thing, we had talked about the advantage that moving this back a day had for Oregon State today because Heimlich got an extra day. The other advantage is it gives Kevin Abel an extra day. We weren't quite sure when he could come back. The freshman, I would be surprised if we see him start tomorrow, but potentially could start a game 3 for Oregon State on Thursday if needed.
He has been and was their best starter here. 7 innings, 5 Ks, 3 walks against Mississippi State. He just looked very in control, and if you didn't see him, 3-pitch arsenal. Ouch. Travis Katzenmeyer feeling the pain of Adley Rutschman. I think we got a full ooh-wee. Yeah, that really must have hurt.
A little finish on the end.
1 and 2.
Awfully impressive, huh? Barrett Lowski and what he just did to that part of the batting order.
And what this kid has done. I remember when he came out of the base, or when he came into the baseball game.
Madrigal, 1 down.
Chamberlain comes in. He's a freshman. The bases are loaded, and yes, he ends up walking the first hitter. But since then, he's been incredible, and he's kept Oregon State right in this thing. 9 strikeouts out of the bullpen.
Arkansas hitters have struck out 13 times tonight.
I mean, you look at the board. Arkansas struck out 13 times. They had 4 hits in the game.
They've walked a lot also. 2 hit by pitches.
Yep, they've had some help.
That big 5th inning was huge. 2 hit by pitches in that 5th inning. Also go along with a walk, 2 hits.
Game's made up of 9 innings, but you could certainly go back to that interference play, which was a huge call in the game, and then what happened in the subsequent next half inning. At the very least, that interference play cost Oregon State a run. That was
undeniable.
That was happening.
Yes.
1 2.
Spoils one. That thing was almost by him when Martin fouled it off. One of the defensive plays of the night made by that guy, Heston Kjerstad. A ricocheted ball on a fair ball down the line. Picked it up. Fired a seed to second base to get Zach Taylor, and it would have been a double. And this one goes to the seats.
An important throw. It would have had the top of the order coming up with a 1 out, runner at second. The ability as a freshman to be able to separate what you've done at the plate defensively, very impressive.
Foul ball fielded well. Really good play on a foul ball by Michael Gretler. One more look at this Heston Kjerstad play.
Yeah, you made a great point right here. As he goes around this ball, once he realizes it's going to ricochet off the railing, makes a perfect throw there to second base. And love the emotion, but knowing the score is very important as a runner. See it all the way and decided to go for 2 as soon as it was hit.
1-2 gone. Boy, Chamberlain's been really good. That's the 15th strikeout. 15th strikeout in the game, and 10 overall for Christian Chamberlain.
Out of the pen.
There's Kerstad, who was a victim twice. What's Kerstad going to have to do to kind of find that stroke again? One of the better hitters on this team. There you go. How about that? Lines one all the way into the gap, and it will get to the track and nearly the wall. Something like that go the other way.
And that's his swing. Going to left center field. It's a true swing. But most importantly, this is a pitch he's been letting go early. He's been getting behind 0-1 on the fastball. And this time he hunts it, goes right down the middle in a beautiful approach. Stays back behind it, perfectly done. All the weight in the back leg and then transfers it perfectly through to left center field.
You see Stephen Kwan out in center, and I think that's one thing to watch as this goes on. He's an elite center fielder when he's full speed. And on that one, you could tell he was guarding against the hamstring right there. Left hamstring injury. Kwan back in the lineup today for the first time in a few days. You could tell it was on his mind on that route.
Ball one to Bonfield, blocked by Rutschman. There are little things in games that affect perhaps the next game. That Kwan issue may be one. And the idea that Kerstad swung at a first pitch fastball and was able to make contact could change the entire way he leaves the game tonight and thinks about coming to the park tomorrow.
Because I know we haven't seen a lot of it in this College World Series. He's an elite hitter.
Yeah.
And there is real power to left center field, which you saw right there. That's kind of his comfort zone. If you go fastball middle away, he is more than happy to take that ball to left center.
Expect Bryce Femmel to start tomorrow night?
I don't know who Oregon State goes tomorrow. They could. You can start Iser.
Yep.
I mean, if you wanted to roll the dice, and it's not really a roll of the dice based on what we've seen here, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see Brandon Iser to start.
How many can Iser give you? Crossed him up right there. Got to go talk to him.
5.
Rutschman was expecting fastball. Instead, Chamberlain gave him a curveball, and not a good feeling as a catcher.
I mean, he went 5 1/3 against Mississippi State, so you know that at least for Brandon Iser, he has the ability to go that deep. That was on Friday, so he'd be what, on 4 days, so kind of typical major league rest.
Yep. Likely Casey Murphy, the junior lefty, will go for Arkansas.
Rio changeup to Bonfield.
Rio changeup not giving up. You have a left-handed hitter and Dominic Fletcher on deck, even though he hit a double last time up on a breaking ball up. A lot of respect for the power of Luke Bonfield.
Fletcher just gave that sign. He threw him a changeup. Here's your 3-1. A good battle back by Chamberlain to get it to 3-2.
I go curveball right here. See if Luke will chase. 0 for 4 so far this night, but with one swing, he could really get to the jugular of Oregon State. Make this a 5-run game.
Tried to.
Chamberlain's got 9 strikeouts in relief and now 10. When you think about the aluminum bat era, so that's 74. Only 2 have more in a College World Series game. One of them is Calvin Schiraldi. He had 11 for Texas. And Chad Garoto out of Mississippi State against Indiana in 13. So he's dealing with some heady company. Only now Schiraldi with 11 has more. So his next strikeout will get him to 11. And He will join an elite group in relief.
The College World Series Finals, Oregon State versus Arkansas, Game 2, tomorrow at 7 on ESPN.
While that was going on, Jack Henley has come on to be a pinch runner for Arkansas at first base.
Game is his. No one warming up in the bullpen.
Last time Fletcher was up, he ripped a double over the head of Trevor Larnach.
It was on a first pitch breaking ball up.
Inside ball 1. Always fascinating. You see somebody like Fletcher talking with Rutschman, and when they meet again on the baseball field.
Yeah, it'll actually be USA Baseball.
Popped up. Rutschman can't see it. Look out, look out. Both bang into each other, and that ball is dropped.
Yeah, that's Gretler's ball the whole way.
Rutschman saw the ball late, and then he went for it. He never looked to see if Gretler was coming for it.
Yeah, Gretler was coming in hot also. Most likely Rutschman didn't hear him, but you're right. This is Gretler's ball all the way. You see him off the line, so he's got to get there. Sees that he's coming in hard, and Rutschman never looks to see where Gretler is at all. Gretler never calls it.
Nope, nobody's mouth is moving.
That's why I wanted to see it.
Never calls it.
That's the one he's got to be screaming right away, because coming in, that is his play the entire way.
Good pitch, 1-2. Rutschman used to play as a kicker for Oregon State football. It was one of the great meetings that Pat Casey ever experienced before this year, when Rutschman called and said, "We got to talk." Said, "I'm not going to play football anymore." He didn't know what that conversation was going to be about. He assumed he was going to go and kick again. Did feel like he'd be better off as a baseball player if he dedicated himself just to baseball, but he wasn't going to get in the way of Adley Rutschman and his football. So that was the good side of it. Then he had to go tell the football coach, "I'm not going to be doing this anymore."
Kick anymore. I mean, this is a kid that kicked a 63-yard field goal in high school.
In high school.
Recovered his own onside kick in a college football game. Tackled Christian McCaffrey at one point. I mean, this is a big-time athlete. But I think we will find, and we already have, that when he commits himself full-time to baseball, that the upside is unending for Rutschman.
1-2 to Dominic Fletcher. No swing. Rutschman thought he did.
Could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Rutschman will lead things off in the bottom of the ninth for Oregon State, trying to make sure it's only a 3-run deficit. And it will be. Fletcher spinning around. He strikes out. What a performance by Christian Chamberlain. He'll get some love. 11 Ks in relief to match Calvin Schiraldi all time out of the bullpen. Arkansas in the driver's seat, leading 4-1, heading to the bottom of the ninth. Game 1 winner has won the series 11 of 15 times since the best-of-3 series began back in 2003. 8 of them have been sweeps. There is this 2006 note. Oregon State lost their first game at the College World Series, like they did here in 2018, and the first game of the finals against North Carolina before coming back to win the championship. They are the precedent. They were the first team to do it. As Rutschman questions that ball being called a strike. And how about it? Between the 5-6 hole, Adley Rutschman leads things off in the bottom of the ninth. The ball not fielded cleanly by Kerstad, but a single for Adley Rutschman. That's a good start in the bottom of the ninth.
And Cronin continues to warm, and I think that we will see him right here. Wes Johnson on the phone down to the bullpen just to make sure. But the left-handed hitting Tyler Malone coming up. Loski's already got you 6 outs. I would expect that we would see Cronin right here.
Loski has been really, really good tonight. Has not thrown a lot of pitches. Only 22 of them. Chamberlain on the other side has been a bullpen saver for Oregon State.
It's an interesting point there, Rev. I mean, only 22 pitches. He got 6 outs. He's still hot tomorrow if you want him. I don't think it's a point to where you'd have to worry about bringing Loski back-to-back days.
Cronin is the closer. He's got 13 saves on the season. The next one would set a school record at Arkansas. It would be his 14th. Loski done. And here's Cronin. He's Matt Suggs, Colby Suggs, back in 2013. Little drama here at the World Series. Oregon State leadoff man on in the bottom of the ninth, trailing by 3. Welcome back, everyone, to this 4-1 Arkansas. Game 1 against Oregon State, College World Series best-of-3 finals. And the wheels starting to spin here in the bottom of the ninth. Leadoff man Adley Rutschman on. Matt Cronin, the sophomore, who comes in with some very impressive numbers, a .315 ERA in 23 appearances, 56 strikeouts, 13 walks.
Just 23 hits allowed against Cronin in 45 2/3. Opponents are batting .150 against him. It's elite stuff from the left side. He will be one of the back-end guys for Team USA and the national team this summer. Fastball into the mid-90s. And similar to what we saw from Loski, he's going to throw a high percentage of fastballs.
If you haven't seen him pitch yet and you follow Major League Baseball, think Sean Doolittle on the mound. Elevates that heater. An effective one at that.
Tyler Malone, Michael Gretler on deck. Everybody is standing on that Oregon State bench on the top step. Rutschman, the leadoff man, aboard. Malone has reached base twice. He was the guy who hit the ball that led to that interference call against Adley Rutschman, which led to a 3-6-4 double play. Another one at the knees at 95. That's filthy.
That's placement also. You look at it, 95 right in the corner. Looking for something middle in, you're not going to get it.
Another reason for the switch from Loski to Cronin. 100-point difference on the batting average from Tyler Malone. I'm going to guess the gun was wrong there at 76. Just guessing.
I don't think I was elevate the fastball at 76 there.
One more base runner, you bring the tying run to the plate. Nope.
Good there. Exactly where Cronin wanted to throw it, and a good take from Malone. That's the one he wants him to swing at, especially in an 0-2 count.
Oof. 96 on the hands, and there's one down.
That plays. It plays big.
Yeah. I mean, there's no secrets with Cronin. You know exactly what he's going to try to do. The challenge, Eddie, and you know this is a hitter. I mean, that's just not an easy one to lay off of. You know he's going to try to elevate the fastball. It's still hard to hold your hands up.
Well, sometimes the biggest mistake you can do as a hitter is to look right down the middle. You might have to meet him where he lives. Think up the entire time. He doesn't really elevate way up, but in that upper quadrant, he makes a living up there.
Oregon State batters have struck out 10 times. Arkansas 15, 25 in the game. Gretler, ball one. They have not won a College World Series title. Winner of game one has gone on to win 73% of the time. Blaine Knight started and was very good. Right field towards the seats, and it's going to get into him. Matt Cronin provides a lot of velocity coming in, so you get the good part of the bat on it, get some velocity heading the other way. It'll be interesting to see if that guy's in the lineup tomorrow night. Stephen Kwan. Down the line, and it's hooking. Wow. Turned around 93 and just pulled it foul.
I'll just elevate it a little bit more.
And I think sometimes the biggest mistake that pitchers make when a guy pulls a ball down the line is you feel like you shouldn't go in. I think it's when you do go in. I mean, that's why, because if he does that again, he's going to hook it 30 feet foul.
And if it's a guy that's 50-50 fastball and let's say changeup, after pulling a fastball like that, you know what you're going to get, the changeup. But he makes his living here with this pitch, the heater.
Andy Armstrong has stepped into the on-deck circle for Oregon State. 1-2. Chases it. He's gone. Second strikeout for Cronin, 11th of the game for Arkansas pitching, and they are out away. Credit Arkansas's pitchers tonight. This was an Oregon State team that came in hitting .351 and averaged almost 10 runs in 5 College World Series games. They've been held to 1. 20 RBI in the season, 2 homers for Andy Armstrong.
These fans are fantastic. They are.
Yeah, I know you had a chance to go down to Baum Stadium this year, and it's one of the greatest settings in all of college baseball. They are incredible fans, and they have come by the thousands to Omaha this year.
2-0.
Mandatory take right here. He's looking at third base. 2-0. You're down 3. No need to swing here.
Zach Taylor, the number 9 hitter, on deck. 2-0. Big pitch in this at bat to Andy Armstrong. 2-1. He took a little bit off of it, and for him, that's still 93.
Yeah, I'd love to have that problem. Take a little off and pump one in at 93.
Shortstop, game over. Arkansas takes the first. They win it 4-1 behind Blaine Knight. He stays unbeaten and perfect on the season, and they're 1 win away from their first College World Series title.
Well, this is what good late pitching does to a really good offense that has stifled other teams late in games. Pitching will control great hitting, and that's exactly what happened tonight.
Knight was outstanding, so was Lowski. Corona to finish it off, and a big sign tonight, Grant Cook, who swung the bat better for Arkansas, had a big hit in that 4-run fifth for the Hogs, and in the end, those 4 runs in the fifth were all they needed.